Crazy Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thursday's the new Friday. Happy Spider-Man release day. Oh, we got a good show planned out for everybody. Dan Campbell went to the podium again. He addressed Jahmyr Gibbs and the contract situation. There's a lot of defensive coaches in the NFL that have high praise for none other than our favorite bald guy, Drew Petzing. We got some potentially breaking news in the next, throughout the course of the show. There's one person on it. We're going to wait for one other person to get on it. But the Tigers might have somebody new joining their team. Of course, we'll start with Tarek Skubal, though. Oh, my God. Yesterday, the Tigers have had a lot of bad losses, ladies and gents. A lot of bad losses over the past 3 years, specifically this year. Going into yesterday, they had blown 17 games when they've had a lead in the seventh inning or later. They had blown 25 saves, none of which were as deflating as yesterday, where Tarek Skubal goes and pitches another gem, not like some earth-shattering performance, but a classic Tarek Skubal start. 6 2/3, only gives up one run. He gets taken out of the game. They really do let him. A.J. Hinch, in a rare instance, goes out there, lets him try to finish the game. He had his 1,000th strikeout. I think everybody in the stadium kind of understood this is probably his last game as a Detroit Tiger. The moment was there. They gave him the moment. He didn't come through. That's fine. 6 2/3. The Tigers had a 7-1 lead when he gets taken out of the game. 7-1 lead in the seventh inning, and the Tigers blow it. That encapsulates everything that this Tiger season has been and what their roster represents. This team is not good enough. This bullpen is not good enough to get through multiple playoff rounds. An embarrassing loss, nonetheless, and a loss that essentially seals the fate of Tarek Skubal. Everything that got put out publicly by national reporters at this point, post the Tarek Skubal loss, or post the Tarek Skubal game, it essentially solidifies the fact that he's moving on. There's pieces coming out from The Athletic in the middle of the game. The Dodgers are all in now that the Shohei Ohtani injury has happened. Passan after the game, essentially suggesting, the Tigers are going to sell Tarek Skubal now that they've lost another series versus another team contending for the wild card. It just was the perfect way for Tarek Skubal to go out. A flawless game, and it's not like he didn't have the run support because the Tigers were scoring runs, but the bullpen completely blows it without him in the game. There's one way to look at this. Oh, look what happens when they take him out of the game. They need him all the time. That's not the way I'm looking at it. The way I'm looking at it is clearly this team is not good enough. This roster and this bullpen specifically is not good enough to win multiple playoff rounds, let alone win enough games to make the postseason. And if that's the case, you have to trade Tarek Skubal. There are some people out there. Oh, why not just sign Tarek Skubal? I don't know, man. Great question. Why not just sign Tarek Skubal? Clearly the answer to that question is they're just not going to. So yesterday, true or false, Kyle, that was Tarek Skubal's last game as a Detroit Tiger.
True. And I think if you don't think it's true, I mentioned this yesterday, it's probably just some version of a fantasy land that you are currently living in that it would be fun to live at, but I live in the real world, and Tarek Skubal's gone. And Jeff Passan confirmed that after the game. And if we are taking the Tigers' word for it, if we're taking the word that these 6 games leading up to the trade deadline really are going to be the reason that if we decide we're trading him or not, okay, well, you just lost the series. and you lost the series in the worst way you could. That was the worst loss of the season.
It was the worst loss in the last 3 years.
There's been blown leads. There's been, walk-off. The one against the Orioles earlier this year when Kenley Jansen gave up the walk-off home run, that one was really bad as well. This one was absolutely the worst loss of the season because it had all the emotional attachment to it. Tarek Skubal getting the 1,000th K, getting the standing ovation. It wasn't like, obviously we don't know if this is his final start, but it surely was being treated that way from the people in Comerica Park, from
Even
the broadcast.
he kind of felt like it.
From Tarek Skubal, it felt like he was really soaking it in. Like, everybody kind of realized what was going on here. Of course they did, because it is what's going on.
Not to mention, playoff hopes still alive going into yesterday's game, and you had a chance to win a series against another team trying to contend for that final wild card spot.
And it just goes to show this team is clearly not built to, one, win the World Series, which I can't believe that is still something that's being said by people.
As long as they squeak in, they can go to the World Series.
This team's not built to make the playoffs, man. I saw a tweet yesterday. I thought it was pretty funny. It was like, the Tigers are for real 3 to 4 good bullpen arms away from winning the American League. I'm like, you know what?
That's probably true.
You know what? I don't disagree. But they're not going to acquire 3 to 4 good bullpen arms.
No, they could acquire 3 to 4 bullpen arms, period.
Yeah.
But you got to take out the good adjective in there because last year that's what they did. They
exactly.
acquired as many as possible.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, and a lot of people in that tweet were saying, well, they could just go trade for 3-4 guys. They could do that. Look what they did last year. They were the best team in the American League. What do you think they're going to do when they're 8 games below 500?
Yeah, lights out closers don't just grow on trees. Those guys aren't just like around.
Yeah. And I will say, like, just a quick Tarek Skubal thing here about, not even about the trade, because I did some reflecting yesterday. And I think that with it being his final start, watching how he went, it was before the Tigers blew the game that I was really just thinking about this. Like,
oh, you mean when they had won the game because it was 7-0 in the sixth,
and it was
the 7th inning?
It was a bittersweet, emotional moment of just like, wow, like this is the back-to-back Cy Young. I know we love Verlander and we do the stuff about, who was better in their prime, Verlander, Skubal, this or that. Verlander wasn't traded coming off of back-to-back Cy Youngs. Like, we are trading Tarek Skubal in the absolute midst of his prime. And Verlander's prime lasted a really long time, so sure, you can make that argument. But, and I've gotten under the stance of I'm ready for Tarek Skubal to be gone. I'm ready for it. I've moved on. I almost had moved on in the offseason. It's been a tumultuous ending to his Tigers tenure. All the stuff that happened in the offseason, the way he talks to the media now, it's not fun. It's not the way that this should have ended. And that's not blaming that's not blaming Tarek Skubal. It's not blaming the Tigers fans. I blame Scott Harris. I blame Chris Ilitch. I blame the Tigers. They failed. They failed so tremendously. This was year 3 of them going into a World Series, win it all season. They had a bad signing in Framber Valdez. The Justin Verlander dream of him coming back and being part of this rotation, this is a great moment. That failed tremendously. They didn't sign any external bats. All of the bullpen arms they brought in were terrible. They failed, and that's why this whole divide has been just drawn out throughout the trade deadline of the fans that want to keep Tarek Skubal. You're a bad fan if you think they should trade him. And then there's us who are trying to think logically to build right for the organization. The fact that we are pitted against each other is all because of Chris Ilitch and Scott Harris. They failed to put together a team that could actually compete for a World Series in the final year of the Tarek Skubal window. I blame them, and I was just thinking about that a ton yesterday.
Look, Kyle, what you're saying is somewhat obvious, yet we don't get to actually dissect what the Tigers did and recognize how much of a failure it was. Because of all those reasons that you said, because Tarek Skubal's press conferences and media sessions are so outrageous, because the Tigers continue to blow leads, and every conversation we have revolves around, are the Tigers going to or not going to trade Tarek Skubal? And you're right, this fan base is completely pitted against each other right now because no one can agree as to what the best move is. There is no consensus, even though half the audience thinks it's super obvious to do one thing, and half the audience thinks it's incredibly blatantly obvious to do another thing. Those two sides are not seeing the same thing right now. It's like politics. It's like, can't we all just recognize what the other
that
party
certain things are bad? Can't we all realize that X is a bad thing without it being a political stance? Yeah.
And the answer is no. This has just become what side are you on? And it overshadows how big of a disaster and how big of a failure Scott Harris and company have had, not just this offseason in the roster that they've built for this year, but even going back to the year prior in which they did nothing at the deadline except for add a bunch of garbage arms. Then you roll into the offseason where you don't add another bat. Then you roll into, this year where you bring in Verlander, you bring in Kenley Jansen, you don't really address the bullpen outside of that. And it's just been a big, giant letdown throughout the course of the entire year. And now we're at the point where yesterday's loss all but seals Tarek Skubal to be traded within the next 3 days. It's such a letdown. And don't be mad at the Tigers necessarily for moving on from Skubal. Be mad at the Tigers for failing to put good players around him to force themselves to have to trade Tarek Skubal.
And last night is the perfect, or yesterday's day game is the perfect example of that.
He pitched a gem, and they blew the game again. And all this talk that we have, Kyle, about they could still get hot in post-trade deadline without Tarek Skubal. A game like Tuesday happens, and I'm like, yeah, 14 runs. Troy Mellon pitches a shutout. Let's do it. Of course, they can get hot. Then a game like yesterday happens, and it's like, okay, not even a 7-run lead is safe with this bullpen. Not even a 7-run lead. Why? Because Scott Harris continues to add mid-30s washed-up pitchers to this bullpen. Kenley Jansen, old man. Kyle Finnegan, old man, can't generate any strikeouts. Both of the Drews, Anderson and Summer, they don't provide this roster with anything. It's a failure on behalf of Scott Harris to bring in quality pitchers every single offseason. And now we're at the point where it's not just the right thing to do to trade Tarek Skubal. They are forced to trade Tarek Skubal because they are 7 games below 500 with just a couple days until the deadline. Those teams sell. 989-837-6125. Did yesterday's loss seal the fate of Tarek Skubal? Obvious answer, yes. But let's see what our audience has to say. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your homes with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come. 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. They help businesses solve real tech problems securely, efficiently, and without the headache. When your IT is working the way it should, everything else gets easier. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. Check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Nine 837-6125. Welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. Tarek Skubal, his fate is totally sealed at this point after the worst loss. I mean, like, any playoff loss just gets put ahead of this, but I'm trying to think of a regular season loss for any sport here in Detroit that is as bad as that was yesterday. In football, obviously, like, the ramifications of a single loss are much greater than any single loss in baseball, but that is about as ugly as a baseball loss as you can possibly imagine. It was 7-1. It was 7-0, and then Skubal gave up 1, and it was 7-1. And then they used 6 bullpen arms into the 12th inning and lost the game. I can no longer sit here confidently and say, like, I guess there's still a chance, but I can't sit here confidently and say, well, they can still rally. They can still rally without Tarek Skubal. Because that was the whole thing. Yeah. I really did feel like they could trade Tarek Skubal, and the way that the bats were hitting as of late since June, and the way that Troy Melton's pitching, I really, from the bottom of my heart, believe they could trade Tarek Skubal and still win enough games to potentially squeak into the playoffs. I'm not guaranteeing it, or I'm not even like saying it's more likely than not, but I thought there was a chance. Then a game like yesterday happens, which is ironic that it's after a game like Tuesday where it was 14-0.
When Troy Melton was on the mound, yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, not even a 7-run lead is safe with this bullpen. I can't sit here and tell anybody, like, at that point, that game yesterday made me think full fire sale. And I can't do the Scott Harris thing of like, well, one game determines our future.
You kind of are, though, right?
But, like, simply based on yesterday.
Join me, brother. I've been on this path.
If Scott Harris is using the every game, we're going to see what happens, and then that's going to dictate how the deadline goes. A game like yesterday, you should get rid of not only Skubal, but Mize. You can't trade Flaherty right now, or at least nobody's probably trading for him. You should trade Glaber. Attach Torkelson on there, who I can't believe he hit that home run yesterday.
Dude, yeah, Tork just... like, surprisingly, has been kind of clutch this year. Surprisingly.
I guess.
I wouldn't say he is clutch overall. But, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the Tigers are going to take the stupid route of, hey, all these games are determining what our trade deadline is. All right, let's take their word for it. They're trading everybody because they just lost a series that they never should have lost. It's straight up. Like, they never should have lost this series. They probably could have swept this series. They never should have split with Kansas City. And now they're going to play some team where no one even knows where they play, and they'll probably lose 2 or 3 against them, too, because the bullpen is so terrible. And they just wasted 6 arms going into an off day. So, yeah, I'm going to take their word for it. And I just think the most disappointing part of yesterday is what we hit on in the previous segment. Like, yesterday was supposed to be the day where all the Tigers fans could come together and celebrate Tarek Skubal, whether you think it's his last start or not. It's his 1,000th career strikeout. And yes, it does feel, even if you wanted to keep him, we all know what the feeling was yesterday for Tarek Skubal's start, that it was his last. And it was supposed to be everybody coming together to enjoy that. And we did for about 6 2/3 innings.
And it was great.
And it was awesome.
It was really good.
And all the time, and I felt like, I was like, not saying I haven't been rooting for Tarek Skubal, but there's been some spite towards him. And that probably never should have been the case in the first place. And all of that went away for a majority of yesterday. And then once it was actually 7-7, I was like, oh my God.
What do you think Tarek Skubal was thinking that entire time? Because in my mind, Tarek Skubal leaves the game. He's like, cool, I'm going to get a win in the win column. I only gave up 1 run. Yeah. Hopefully whoever comes in right after me doesn't give up run because those would count towards earned runs in mine. And then once the Tigers actually blew it in the 12th inning, I'd be furious. I'd be like, get me the hell out of here. I'm done. I want to go compete. I want to go win a World Series. Guess what? That's not happening here. Not this year.
Yeah, he was probably thinking like, okay, do I want to live in Beverly Hills or do I want to be in Burbank once I go to LA? Like, what suburb do I want to stay in?
Like that's the other thing of like now I'm kind of talking directly to the crew that wants to keep Tarek Skubal. Has it ever crossed your mind that maybe he doesn't want to be here? Because according to him, the most important thing is I want to be here to try to win a World Series. Guess what? You can't do that here. You don't get to do that here. Not with this team.
I mean, and when they ask him, like, okay, do you want to be here after this season? He's like, oh, I'm not focused on this next season. I'm focused on this season.
That's the part I don't really understand about the keep.
You could just say yes. It's that simple.
Or just say, I don't know. or say no.
True. I don't know. I'm going to do it, Ben. I'm going to do it. We got breaking news. Positive Tigers news. Max Clark reportedly is getting called up to the big leagues, to the Tigers. We've been waiting on this, and it's finally happening now. Emily Walden, minor league baseball writer for Baseball America, reporting that this morning.
So this burns his rookie eligibility, right, for this season?
I don't think it fully burns it. If he plays, he still has to play like X games, I'm pretty sure. Or no, it is days. It is days with the big league
days on the roster,
yes.
And usually you wait until September to not have to burn that rookie eligibility. I mean, this is another piece of evidence that they're going to trade Tarek Skubal, right? They're turning the page. I don't want to say they're giving up on this season, but they're prioritizing their young guys and their prospects getting reps and games played under their belt. That way, going into next year, they feel a little bit more comfortable, so they're not just making their big leagues debut. I'm a little surprised that they're just, like, the fact that they were willing to do this with Kevin McGonigal and Scott and Max Clark here now and burn their rookie eligibility to not force the team control. That is interesting. And maybe it has something to do with what they think is going to come this offseason, which I think is a little unpredictable at this point.
I know what it could have something to do with.
Tell me.
Is Scott Harris going to be around to have to deal with Max Clark coming off his rookie deal? No. None of these guys are going to be around in 6 years when Max Clark is eligible for an extension a year earlier.
So you think this is like a saving oh, okay. So we're about to trade away Tarek Skubal. How do we please our fan base? Because my theory's not changed, that Scott Harris just really wants to be liked, like really badly.
Sure. And
that's part of the reason he's been so hesitant to trade Tarek Skubal, even though half the fan base just wants Tarek Skubal gone at this point. But let's say that's true. I don't want to be hated. I want my reputation here to be strong, because that's why he's too scared to make a move one way or the other. So I can't be criticized if I just don't make a move. If he knows he's about to trade Tarek Skubal, to throw the fan base a bone, you think he's calling up Max Clark?
I think it's part of it.
Anytime you're like doing that, though, throwing a fan base a bone,
pleasing the fan base, yeah, it feels like it's like, where are your priorities? You know, shouldn't you just be like running the baseball team?
Yeah.
I don't think that's all of it, though. I think a large majority of it is, one, Matt Vierling got injured yesterday on that triple that should have been the inside the park home run, like clearly popped his hamstring. And we've gotten to a point now where, okay, are we really going to call up another random guy from Toledo over Max Clark? That's an outfielder. Like, are we really going to continue to call up the Ben Malgiris and the Gage Workmans and even Eduardo Valencias, honestly? Like, we're going to continue to do that over the top
been 3
prospect?
months of it.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, if it does reach a point. So that's one. Two, I've argued that I think now is the perfect time for Clark to come up, because there won't be pressure on him. The lineup actually is getting fully healthy to an extent, and there's not going to be pressure on him to like deliver right away like a Kevin McGonigal was. And I think the biggest point is the Tigers, whether or not they trade Skubal, Mize, Glaber, Flaherty, Kenley, everybody, they're still going to try to spin this to fans that, hey, we're not punting on the season. And
here's Max Clark. Here's your new favorite shiny toy. Tarek Skubal's gone, but look, we got Max Clark now and his bright yellow hair.
I don't think that's a bad approach to take. I really don't, because once again, is it not the boat that you've been riding? Like, they could
they
still
should call him up.
No, that they could still make the playoffs without Tarek Skubal. That's what
it has been the boat that I've been riding until yesterday. Where
That's what Scott Harris is going to push it to the Tigers, and I don't think it's the wrong approach to take either, because it is semi-believable. Like, yeah, they still could just. I mean, think about how they lost yesterday's game. They're winning 7-0. It's not like this team is bad. Yeah, they're just bad at the end of games. And so
that's the thing. It's not like that was a one-off. I can't believe they lost that game.
Well, sure.
No, I can believe they lost that game because they've blown 25 saves and have 18 losses where they've had a lead in the seventh inning.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying Max Clark is better than James Outman. Max Clark is going to be better than Malgiri and all these other, and Matt Vierling at the end of the day. So you are putting out your best option at that spot right now. And I think he does make this team better. And so when you add that guy to the team, it's another way to spin to the fans, hey, I know we just traded Tarek Skubal. We're still going to try to compete. This division is still semi-open. We're still kind of in the wild card race, even though I really think that's not the route of getting into the playoffs. It is a division at the end of the day. So I think that's what it is. I think it's like, hey, we're trading Skubal. Yeah, I know. We're still going to try to go for this thing. We just had to make the right logical decision. And honestly, I think it's the best approach to take, and it is the smartest one. if they nail the Skubal trade, of course.
I'm not saying it's like not a smart trade. I think this is a people-pleasing move, which
But,
any
like,
time that there is a GM
why?
pleasing people, it causes me to be a little bit concerned about where your priorities lie. I think it's a people-pleasing move. You're right. It's probably time, but why was last week not the time then? Like, what happened within the last, because he hit a home run yesterday?
He's continued to go off? Yeah, like I would say that's part of it.
He does have some pretty incredible July numbers here. So far in July, Max Clark is OPSing over 1,000, 275 average, same amount of stolen bases as strikeouts. Or I'm sorry, same amount of walks as strikeouts and 5 stolen bases as well. Not like he'll steal any bases with the Tigers because they just don't really do that. Yeah, in July, 338 average, 1086 OPS. He's been amazing. So I am glad he's here. I guess I'm just surprised that they're willing to burn his rookie eligibility. I thought this would be later into September, but if they want to get him up now, I have no problem with this because it's something to keep your eyes on the Tigers post Tarek Skubal.
And it gives you some excitement, man. Like, hey, you have Max Clark now here to join the young core of McGonigal, and then whatever you get back in the Skubal trade, like, it does add some excitement. And I don't think it's a people-pleasing move. I think it just is real excitement. Like, it is. If you get back 2 prospects that are going to be, towards the top of your ranking in a Skubal deal, and if you do trade Mize, you get another one, like, there is reason to be excited because you're not just wasting these guys.
See, now, remember what we talked about, well, many times over the past couple of weeks. We were in the Skubal era. Okay, that era officially ended yesterday in my mind. Now we're in the McGonigal era. Guess who's a major part of the McGonigal era? Not just Dingler, not just Riley Green, but we always thought Max Clark was going to be a part of this thing. For a while, we thought Max Clark, it was going to be the Max Clark era.
He was drafted 3rd overall in like a loaded draft class that McGonigal was taken way later in.
So now we are truly turning the page as to the Tarek Skubal era and have this core 4 of players between the 3 All-Stars, and then you hope that Max Clark is a part of that as well. Turning the new page. This is what it's supposed to look like. They need to go find more foundational pieces to their lineup every single day. Parker Meadows is, I don't know, he could be in Europe for all we know.
Parker Meadows
could be dead for all we know. I don't know. Now we bring in Max Clark. So now you've got your everyday shortstop / third baseman, left side of the infield guy in McGonigal. You've got one of your outfielders. You just added another outfielder that you hope is going to become an every single day player, a pillar of your lineup. And then you have your catcher as well. Now you have 4 theoretical guys, and one of them obviously still has to prove it.
Acquire a 5th in a trade. Like, there will be a 5th acquired in a Skubal deal. And hell, maybe even in a Casey Mize deal. Who knows?
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Max Clark called up for the Tigers. They have an off day today, hopefully making his debut tomorrow. Hey, Covenant Healthcare, you don't have to be a pro to get pro-level care. Whether you're hitting the gym, the field, or staying active, Covenant Healthcare Sports Medicine helps you prevent injuries, recover quicker, and keep doing what you love.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. Let's see what our audience is saying right now. Max Clark called up. What are they saying in the YouTube chat, Kyle?
Luke chiming in says, Clark news is huge. New Tigers without Skubal LFG. Kind of what you're talking about. Hey, it's a good way to get the fan base on board in a post-Skubal era. You bring up Max Clark. Sauce Boss also says, this is how I see it. Skubal on the way out, so take some of the heat off of him by calling up Clark. What if they don't trade Skubal and they keep Max Clark?
I mean, that'd be shocking.
They keep Skubal.
The way that yesterday went, I think it'd be pretty shocking to keep Tarek Skubal at this point. I just think like the concept of turning the page and entering a new era is very fascinating because the Skubal era, like I would define the bats in the Skubal era as Green, Torkelson, Carpenter. Those were your core guys. And obviously, based on last year's playoff game, those cannot be your three core guys, right? They went, what did we say before the show? They went 0 for 9. They went like over 18 combined. That was Glaber included in that too.
Yeah, Riley
was 0 for 6.
Glaber, all 0 for 6 in that game.
Torkelson was 0 for 6. Kerry Carpenter showed up. Thank you, Kerry Carpenter.
Worth noting from Sauce Boss as well in the YouTube chat and confirming this. An MLB rookie can spend 45 days on the active Major League roster without losing rookie eligibility. So this doesn't like burn it technically. Like he could be on the team for 40 days and they send him back down, and that would be kind of weird. But
that puts him to September 13th.
Yeah, but this doesn't like necessarily burn his rookie eligibility. So we'll see what happens there. Interesting from Chris. He says if Max Clark doesn't produce right away, this fan base will turn on him quickly. What do we think? So. I think this fan base is, I don't know. It's hard to describe. We turned on Tarek Skubal, right? We love Kevin McGonigal because he has produced. I think if we are going to try and spin it that if you call up Max Clark as a way to make the fans happy after getting rid of Tarek Skubal, then yeah, I think that take makes sense. Because, we lost Tarek Skubal, but here's Max Clark, and then he's not very good. I think the people are not going to be very happy about that.
Sure, but if you're like preemptively deciding I'm not going to like I'm not going to like Max Clark just based on what he represents, then like go live a different life, man.
Who's saying that? We're talking about if he doesn't produce. What do you mean? What he represents? What does that even mean?
Like getting rid of Tarek Skubal, essentially, because these moves are kind of coming hand in hand in my mind. And also, like, has Kevin McGonigal just completely swayed our mind as to what a rookie expectations should be?
Of course 1,000%. Like, I mean, he's having an insane rookie season.
Let's be honest with ourselves. He's not going to be Kevin McGonigal, right? So it's a little difficult to say, the fan base is not going to turn on him if he doesn't produce. Well, guess what? Like, he's probably just not going to produce to the expectation that we think he possibly could, because McGonigal has completely shifted our opinion.
But I think that is going to make some fans feel a certain type of way about Clark. Like, he's not McGonigal. And they came up together, and he was picked early. Like they were always viewed as a duo until McGonigal outpaced Clark.
Sure. I would say those fans are there's nothing that you can do to satisfy them. Like, you're choosing to be upset if you're going to get mad at Max Clark for not producing immediately the way that Clark did.
Yeah.
Or the way that McGonigal did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Kevin says, I think this is a good point. I feel like our fan base's patience is connected to contract value. We're patient with players on rookie deals, but a player like Javi has a way shorter leash. I mean, that makes a ton of sense to me.
I still just, like, I'm going to keep going back to this turning the page thing because I think it's really interesting. Obviously, based on last year's playoffs, I don't think it's up for debate. The core concept of those three players, Green, Torkelson, Carpenter, is just not going to work. Not to say you have to get rid of all of them, but they can't be your three best players. Okay, well, the Tigers are electing to keep Green, 3-time All-Star. Now it's Dingler and McGonigal. Now you're hoping that Max Clark can be your fourth player, in which the Tigers have never had a core four. They never had a fourth piece. I guess Glaber Torres flirted with that spot, but, like, let's be honest, the second and third guy weren't legit guys
and
either.
Also, like, Torres is just a free agent, Like, he was just kind of this bridge middle infielder.
Correct. now you actually have a core 4 of players. Obviously, there's still a lot of hope with Clark rather than like promise. You're right. You need to use Tarek Skubal to find a fifth, and all of a sudden, like, that's when you can start to envision, like, oh, we actually have something conceptually here that can help us, like, go far into a playoff series, because the Bats have never been good. They've never been good under Tarek Skubal. They've been average, maybe slightly above average. They've never been great. If Max Clark pans out, there is a path for it to be great. But you have to add one more piece. You got to have a fifth player in there as well. And you can use Tarek Skubal to go try to acquire one more.
Too. Like, it shouldn't be hopefully they do. Like, it should be like a non-negotiable.
Right. And then Bryce Rayner still exists too, who could potentially be your fifth guy as well.
Gary makes a good point. He says all he has to do is hit 200 and play decent center field, and he's an upgrade. That's true. I mean, it's not going to take much for him to produce anyways, compared to what's been out there. Obviously, Javi being there, but I do think that, like, as much as Javi playing center field is fun, ideally he plays short most days when McGonigal can move over to third. It'll make things interesting as far as how the rest of the infield unfolds. Now, to me, this
Wouldn't be surprised if he was in the corners a little bit to start out. I don't think he's just like an everyday center fielder for the rest of the year.
You're right. I think this almost points a little bit to, as well, like, more likely now than an hour ago that Gleyber Torres gets traded, in my brain. Right, Hao-Yu Lee has earned at least the rest of this season an everyday spot. Colt Keith, obviously, is a fixture of this lineup. I don't know if he's an everyday guy, but he's certainly there most days.
He's not untouchable. But.
Right. With Max Clark there, you're going to bring him up and not play him every day? So if he's in the outfield, that sends Javi Baez into the infield at least a good amount of the time. And then you still have to figure out all between Torres, Keith, and Hao-Yu Lee, and obviously McGonigal. It's a lot of spots or a lot of guys for like 2 spots. So in my brain, this almost signals Gleyber Torres is more likely to get moved than not as well.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which
I wouldn't be that upset about it, because I don't think he's part
got
of
good
this.
Value, man.
I don't think and there's not a lot of right-handed bats that are going to get moved at this year's deadline.
Yeah, it's a lot of pitching.
It's a lot of pitching, and I don't think he's like. It's nice to have Gleyber Torres around. He gives them solid at bats, but if they're replacing Gleyber Torres with another person who gives them really solid at bats and strong, like, professional ABs and Clark, same amount of walks as strikeouts this month.
He's always been a great discipline hitter. That's his thing. He's not going to pop with his bat. He's not going to hit 25 homers, but.
And that's okay. Like, just go get someone who's going to give you quality at bats. That's the way that the Tigers have always wanted to approach this thing. That's what Scott Harris has always preached, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. Obviously, I'd like to have some more power, but Dingler and Green, I think, provide enough power, and McGonigal's power has been kind of surprising this year, too, with 9 home runs.
You know what's going to happen, Ben? Jackson Jobe is going to make his Toledo rehab start this weekend, and he's going to get called up.
Well, that's the other thing with the pillars.
And then Skubal's going to get traded.
That's the other thing with the turning the page with Skubal. It's not just the bats. Oh, we're not in the Skubal era, we're in the McGonigal era. Now we've got a new little core to it. It's also look at the arms. It's always been Skubal, Casey Mize, Flaherty as your 3. Now it's Montero, Jobe, and Troy Melton. Like, even though the Tigers are about to sell Tarek Skubal, there is still a really strong foundation, both with your arms and your bats, especially now that you get to include Max Clark into this. There is a very strong foundation, both offensively and with your pitching. That's why you should still be somewhat bullish on this Tigers team. And I hate the narrative that, like, oh, they're going to sell Skubal and be out of the playoffs for a decade. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Yeah, I think, like, the opposite. I think you're trading Skubal and potentially Mize and Torres to load up for next season. Like, next year could be the year. And I know that's a really, like,
tall task.
And everybody says that. Oh, next year might be our year. And I'm not, like, trying to punt on this season either, but I think it's another reason why Clark is getting the call up now. It's like, hey, let's give Clark some run now so that next season he's ready to go. Like, he's been here, done that. There isn't the pressure, the spotlight on him. Because Max Clark, he's not as big of a prospect as McGonigal was or some of these other guys that have come up. He's going to have quite the spotlight on him just based off of his personality, based off of his social media presence. Like, he's the flashy tattoos, chains. He's got all that stuff to him. It's probably going to be a bit of an adjustment period for him, if I just had to take a guess. And that's okay. To get that out of the way now when the team sold at the trade deadline is smart to do. So that next year, when you're ready to, okay, let's try to be good again this year, he's going to be ready for it.
Max Clark hitting and being a legitimate big leagues player, not even an all-star, but just like a really reliable player. If he's I'll say this, if he's an all-star, the Tigers can make the playoffs next year. Like we're back on. We're back on.
We're putting all-star expectations on him now?
No, I guess that is unfair, but like if he shows any sort of glimpses of that, we have a player on the team and we have a fourth member of the lineup that's supposed to play every day, and I really do think that this can vault them into next year. And they can be a great team next year.
If baseball is played, as Luke just threw in our YouTube chat. It's a good point, Luke.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Max Clark reportedly being called up. Exciting stuff. You know what will be great tomorrow as you're watching Max Clark's debut? A Yingling. Nothing pairs better than game day with an ice-cold Yingling. Whether you're locked in for kickoff, tip-off, or a final inning, it's got that crisp, smooth taste that just hits right, kind of like your team when it's firing on all cylinders. It's one of those simple game day staples. You've got the crew, the TV's up loud, and something cold is in your hand, and now you're all set. Another round of Yingling, and now it really does feel like a game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
I'm kind of giddy right now. I can't believe it. We got Max Clark coming to the Tigers. Myron says, listen, if the Tigers are going to get younger, which I agree they should, but they need those vets with voices. Obviously, Green is not the voice they need. Bring in some veterans that can help lead them. You mean like a Gleyber Torres? Look, I think having another guy like Gleyber Torres at the top of the lineup is really helpful because he's just going to give you quality at bats, and you can not guarantee, but feel pretty confidently through the first two hitters. The pitcher's going to get to like 12, 13 pitches, and there's no way a pitcher can cruise through the Tigers' top of the lineup in less than 10 pitches in a first inning. I think that's really important just because every pitch that McGonigal and Gleyber see, it helps the guys beneath them in the lineup. But if Max Clark's going to be another disciplined hitter, I think having a combination at the very top of the lineup combination of Max Clark and Kevin McGonigal could do wonders. Like, then all of a sudden, you feel pretty confidently that one of those guys is going to get on base. Then Dingler in the 3-hole. Then Riley Green to clean things up. Like, that is a nasty front four. And of course, you need some veterans at some point as well. But you can find veterans at some point. That doesn't mean they have to be like staples of your lineup. This is a homegrown core four that I feel pretty good about. Obviously, Max Clark still has literally everything to prove. But, man, he was torching AAA ball in July. And I get it. That doesn't mean all that much. But Max Clark's always been someone that we've been optimistic towards. Even though he had that rough spring training and the lights were a little bright on him, I think that was a pretty big come-to-Jesus moment for him, where he could recognize, like, yeah, I still got a long ways to go. But I wasn't just going to sell on my Max Clark stock because of what happened in spring training, right? He's put together a really solid season, and I'm pretty optimistic towards what he can be for this Tigers lineup. And what he could be is an everyday center fielder that brings some pop to the bat as well. Maybe not necessarily with power, but in terms of great plate discipline, high on base percentage, another one of those guys, and all of a sudden, 4 different players that you can rely on as everyday players. That is unlike anything the Tigers have had since A.J. Hinch and Scott Harris have been here.
I mean, from day one, when Clark was drafted till now, the idea of him being a 5-tool player has never changed. You know, he doesn't, like, excel at one specific thing. He's not like a Kevin McGonigal, or even when McGonigal was drafted, yeah, this guy's the best bat in the Tigers org. Like, that was always just a known thing. Now, he excelled and became, like, the best bat in the entire org, including the major league roster.
Yeah, and his defense this week has been really good, too.
Yeah, it has. But Max Clark has always been, he's the all-around guy. He's going to offer speed. He's going to offer defense. His arm is really good. He's going to offer great contact. He gets on base more than he strikes out. Like, he's just a great all-around baseball player. And that's always what he projected to be.
Great range in the outfield.
And at AAA this year, like, that's the one thing, and I'm not, like, blaming fans. A lot of fans don't pay attention to the minor leagues. I don't blame you. It's a lot to pay attention to when you're already paying attention to a game every single day at the major league level.
It's hard to watch him, too.
It is. It's difficult to do. Clark has been consistent and also consistently getting better the entire year for AAA Toledo. He's put together over half a season. He's played over 80 games for Toledo. Like, that's a well enough sample size to realize, okay, one, he's ready for the bigs, but two, he hasn't had slumps. He hasn't had a stretch where, man, Max Clark really looking rough. He hasn't dipped any month either. He's continuously gotten better and better throughout the season. He's progressing in all the right ways. He just doesn't have the gaudy OMG. He has an 1,100 OPS in AAA. OMG, he has 30-some home runs that leads all of minor league baseball.
No, but he has 11 home runs with 21 stolen bases.
Yeah, and more walks, or same amount of walks as K's this month. Like, that's stuff like that is not done very often in the minor league level. A lot of guys strike out a ton in minor leagues. So
100 hits, man, that's not nothing. 100 hits in, what'd you say, 82 games? Like, that's good stuff from Max Clark, man. Yeah. I'm excited to see who this is. I'm also excited. Like, Javi Baez came back. And I think Javi Baez is more of a star than he is a productive player at this point in his career. You know what I mean? But there is some juice that he brings to the table.
Dude,
some
Javi
excitement.
And Max.
That is some freshness.
You want to talk
man.
about aura?
Woo.
You want to talk about two dudes that are going to, like, bring the energy?
Got to talk about some ice, some drip to your game.
Dude.
Max Clark and Javi Baez together, that brings some excitement and spark and flash and bedazzle to the Tigers, which, to be quite frank, they need.
Yeah.
A lot of their even McGonigal, boring. Riley Green, boring. Dylan Dinkler, kind of boring.
They all are boring. Skubal wasn't boring.
Skubal was
They're
not
losing
boring.
it, though. They're losing that guy.
Even Troy Melton, mostly boring.
Not a bad thing, though.
Not a bad thing.
But you do need some of you need the flashy guy. You need the Javi Baez. I need a Max Clark, Javi Baez celebration of some sorts, whether that's them in the outfield, like after a win, or they both score at home on the same play. Like, I need some sort of them two celebrating together. That's going to be crazy.
Max Clark, certainly not boring.
What was the nickname you gave Max Clark? The
Bengal Tiger. The Bengal.
Kevin McGee hasn't really caught on, so you're 0 for 1 with the Tigers prospect nicknames. Maybe Bengal Tiger.
What if he's just a white tiger?
The White Tiger. Just because he's a
Is
white
that
guy?
racist? No, because it's just like flashy. It sticks out. It's like, whoa, wait, what's going on
What
over
are
there?
those white? I mean, like, are those white tigers just called white tigers? Or are they a different type of cat?
I think they're just albino tigers.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's go to break.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Max Clark has been called up. Certainly not a boring Tiger. Very optimistic to see what he can bring to the table for the Detroit Tigers. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt, 10 o'clock hour when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Have we done enough on the Max Clark stuff? We'll circle back eventually, but do you think we can move forward, or would you like to keep discussing it here? Because, okay, we can keep going then.
No, I'm just playing. We can move on. I mean,
we
got 2 whole hours left, man.
I know, but I'm being serious. Like, I feel like there's still a lot left on the bone here with this Max Clark thing. We can get to the Lions stuff at any point. The fact that Max Clark is being
chewing on this bone.
The fact that Max Clark is being pulled up, I do really, like, man, if yesterday wasn't enough evidence, if Jake Rogers getting waived wasn't enough evidence that Tarek Skubal is going to get moved, this is, I thought yesterday's game and the fact that they lost after having a 7-0 lead and a 7-1 lead when Tarek Skubal got taken out of the game in the 7th, I thought that was enough evidence to seal Tarek Skubal's fate. This feels like a little bit more of evidence that they are going to move on from Skubal in the coming days and turn the page to the next era of the Detroit Tigers. I am deeming the McGonigal era. Once upon a time, we thought it was going to be called the Max Clark era. But nonetheless, Max Clark, very much a part of the McGonigal era, not as much as part of the Skubal era. You know, so the fact that they're about to move on from Skubal, hopefully trying to go find another pillar of the lineup. Like, at most, Kyle, in the Skubal era the last 3 years, how many pillars of the lineup every day have they had?
What do you mean pillars? Like guys that are just in the lineup every day, or are we talking guys that are a part of the Tigers core? Because I think there's
guys
a
that
big
are a part
difference.
of the Tigers core. Because I think we were fooled once upon a time that Torkelson, Riley Green, and Kerry Carpenter were all a part of the core.
But I also think they were, though. Like, we weren't fooled. They were a part of it, and things just change.
Well, we were fooled in the sense that they can be the core and we can, like, have success.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a better way to put it.
And now it's become abundantly clear that Torkelson is not a part of that. Shout out him for hitting his 100th home run yesterday, though. But that's kind of the fool's gold with Torkelson. He'll give you a home run once a week, and then every other at-bat is pretty atrocious. Kerry Carpenter, thank you for the amazing playoff moments. It's just
can't be overlooked. Like, they truly can't. The issue is both of them did not result in, like, a series win.
And,
so,
like, if Kerry Carpenter's going to stick around, that's so be it. He shouldn't be one of the 4 best players on your lineup every single day, right? He's got one special skill.
He's a platoon bat at the end of the day. And his special skill has certainly not been a skill this year either.
Correct. The fact that now that you do have, like, oh my God, they have 2 young players in Riley Green, who is still a young player. He's just been in the bigs for a while. Riley Green, Dylan Dingler, and Kevin McGonigal. It's like, boom, this is the core. This is as strong as a core offensively as they've ever had before, right? Whether Skubal here's
ever?
Since
they have like the Triple Crown?
Sure. Okay, you know what I mean though. Like,
yes,
this decade.
To go scoop this like this decade with Scott Harris. You're saying
correct. This is the strongest core that they've ever had, whether Skubal's here or not. So now you are going to move on from Skubal, trying to find another piece from that core. For that core, because Skubal's going to leave regardless this offseason. And there was, by the way, a report that I just saw that Skubal's preferred destination in free agency is the Dodgers.
I saw that too.
That's the first time we've had any report like that.
I don't really know how much I believe that. Me and John were talking about this, by the way. The MLB trade deadline is one of those ones where I just kind of I believe every single report. They're all like, there's so many fake reports that come out at the deadline that I'm just like, you know what? I believe these fake random accounts just as much as I believe the Bob Nightingales of the world.
It's like the opposite of
and
the
NBA
John
Heymans and
opposite of the NBA.
Like the only person I'm really going to trust is when either Passan or even just because Passan's a little different because he will like give his opinion on things. And so
I don't mind.
All the stuff he says isn't even like real like validity to it. Sometimes it's just him saying what he thinks. But unless a trade happens, I can't fully believe anything. So as far as all the Skubal rumor stuff, you know, whether the Brewers are really involved, obviously we know the Dodgers. Passan did say yesterday that Skubal is going to get traded, so that's nice to hear. But that could have just been him giving his opinion.
Again, I really think this is the strongest core offensively that the Tigers have ever had. And what was holding them back during the Skubal era was, yes, the bullpen, but also the fact that they couldn't score enough runs. Yeah, it is unfortunate that the Skubal era didn't overlap with the era that could produce enough runs for them, but that's just the way that this thing unfolded. You weren't going to keep Skubal long-term. Max Clark wasn't ready until now. Okay, well, now you do have this like really special core 3, and you hope Max Clark can be the 4th piece of that. And then you hope because the circumstances and the cards you've been dealt have been you have to trade Tarek Skubal. You hope you can go find a fifth piece to that core in the lineup every single day. And I get it. When they traded Verlander, they got nothing for him. Okay, that's worst case scenario. Actually, you know what worst case scenario is? What happened with Scherzer, letting him walk for literally nothing. At least with Verlander, they got a Jake Rogers out of it. And those are the two worst case scenarios. So
yeah, and like worth noting at the Verlander trade as well, I understand that like we're all super frustrated about it. They got the Astros number 3, 7, and 11 prospects. Like, it's not like at the time it was viewed as, they got a dumpster fire. It just turned out to be bad.
Correct. It doesn't always have to turn out to be bad.
Exactly.
If you can use Skubal to get a fifth piece, assuming Max Clark could probably be that fourth piece, you're as loaded as you ever have been offensively. Like, you have the deepest roster that you've had this decade. And you still have an awesome rotation of arms with Troy Melton, Jackson Jobe, and Kyler Montero, and Framber Valdez, there's just no way he's this bad.
And that's a version of the Tigers that's ready right now, too. Like, worth noting, when you talk about the offensive core, yes, there is some of those pieces, but the core can even be added to. The pitching staff is ready to be great right now. Even without Tarek Skubal, he's gone. The Tigers still, at minimum, have a top 5 pitching staff in the American League, starting rotation-wise, without Tarek Skubal. And obviously, it's going to be hard to rank them without him, but still. Sauce Boss asking, now that Clark is up, who else are we excited for in the farm system outside of Briseño? We need a big return on Tarek. Yeah, that's been like another thing that you and I have pushed, like why you should trade Tarek Skubal. The farm system just is not very exciting outside of a Briseño and Bryce Rayner, I would say.
Yeah, to answer that question, it's Bryce Rayner.
Yeah. I mean, any trade you make with a team that has a good farm system, like the Dodgers and Brewers, who are both rumored to be heavily involved in Tarek Skubal trades, you trade for their 6th or 7th best prospect, he's going to be the Tigers' number 2 the second he shows up. So, yeah, I would say Rayner, Briseño are guys I'm excited for. Briseño hit another home run last night. But Clark being here, obviously he was a part of that trio. I think there was 3 guys that you were excited about. A Max Anderson, I don't necessarily know. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
I don't have high hopes or anything.
Cam Fluke was their first-round draft pick.
Yeah,
but
quite some time.
Hard to be excited about a guy that you don't know
college
anything
pitcher,
about.
Though, right? So I guess we'll be here sooner rather than later. But
in theory, yeah. Yeah, I am, even though they are more than likely going to miss the playoffs this year because of an atrocious May, and even though they are going to trade Tarek Skubal here, I'm still pretty bullish on what this Tigers' future is going to look like. Tell me if you
should
think,
be. Like that's the part that the Tigers fans have failed to really come together on this.
I was going to say, tell me if you think I'm being a biased Tigers fan here, because I don't think I am.
You should be. This is something that we have continued to discuss. The Tigers have the opportunity to control the trade deadline. They can really run everything at the deadline. Not only are they going to have the biggest piece traded and the biggest piece that's been traded since Juan Soto at the deadline in Tarek Skubal, but they also might have the second best pitcher to be traded in Casey Mize. Maybe the best right-handed pitcher. They also have one of the best right-handed bats available in Gleyber Torres. Like, they have the chance to control the deadline and add to this. If you are excited about the Tigers' future, which I would say most Tigers fans at least fall into the group of, hey, I like Dingler, McGonigal, and Melton. What, you're going to say no to that? Like,
and then there's the weirdos that hate Riley Green for some reason.
Sure, but at least like the main young, super young foundations of the Tigers core, we all agree, yes, we're excited about those guys, not just now, but going forward. If you can control the deadline and add some pieces that you feel even better about going forward with this team, like, you should be excited. This should be a reason that we got to stop mourning the death of Tarek Skubal as a Tiger. Spin it positively. Yeah, the season has gone bad, and I blame Scott Harris, and I blame Chris Ilitch and everything that happened this offseason for not building a real, true World Series contender or doing it last year at the deadline. Let's spin it positively. Like, there is a real opportunity right in front of us over the next 4 days where on Tuesday's show, we can come here and say, look, I think this Tigers team is building something special. Or we can be extremely disappointed. Who knows?
If you're going to hold on to Tarek Skubal and hold a grudge against the organization for that, and like you said, continue to mourn him and be disgruntled about it, while the Tigers are actually optimistic and other fans are happy towards what they're building, then you're just setting yourself up to be miserable. Like, don't fixate on what has happened in the past and what is happening now with trading Tarek Skubal, look at the optimism that they are building towards. Look at the core. With or without Tarek Skubal, this is a really exciting young core. And they have a chance to add on to that here at the deadline. So rather than fixating on Tarek Skubal and bitching and complaining about that part of it, that they're moving on from him, look around, bro. Look at life. Look at the roster. Look at the young players on this team that are producing right now. Then you can look at the prospects. Because like, forget the prospects even too. This team right now, McGonigal, Green, Dingler, and now Max Clark in the bunch. Melton, Job, Montero. With or without Skubal, that's a really exciting young core. So don't just focus on Tarek Skubal and the negative aspect of this. Focus on how good of a future that this team has. Not just future, but like how geared up they are
just a
right
core
now.
In general. Yeah, like it's a fun young core. It is.
Right now, plus the ability to add on to that with trading Glaber, Skubal, Mize. Like, they have a chance to load up right now and be a really scary team for everybody else in the American League because they already are a good team.
Yeah.
They just happen to have the worst month of all time in May, and that is what's going to inevitably keep them out of the playoffs, as we told you then and as is still true now.
And that's the thing. If you want to be miserable about them trading Skubal, you're going to be much more miserable if they kept him and missed the playoffs. And I've also seen the take like, oh, how are we going to feel when Skubal is pitching in Game 1 of the World Series for the Dodgers or whatever it is?
Probably crappy.
I don't know, but like, what are we saying, that he was going to pitch in the World Series for the Tigers? Like, I don't understand that take. They had their chance. They went to back-to-back playoffs where they easily could have went to the championship series. And who knows what happens once you get there, because it's a full 7-game series, and they had a better pitching staff than both of the teams they would have played. But they lost in 2 primetime opportunities to advance in 2 straight postseasons. They had their opportunity. Unfortunately, it's gone. You have to move on, and the best way to move on is setting yourself up for the next time, and that's how you do it this week.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the 10 o'clock hour, brought to you by Aird Insurance Group. They're all about putting you in a better position, whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage. They make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aird Insurance Group on social media to stay connected every day and see how they're helping people along the way.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. We didn't do it in the 9 o'clock hour, so we're going to do it right now. Kyle Sandel, take it away with the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, Ben. It's time for the news. Mid-morning catch. Here we go. Community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. We got a big-time Loons theme night streak starting tonight. Come out to Dow Diamond Thursday through Sunday. It's country music night tonight. Tomorrow night is a Copa night. Saturday is Dogman night, and Sunday is Paw Patrol night. Or it's Paw Patrol Day. Holy smokes, dude. There's a lot going on.
Lot going on. So come on out to the ballpark this weekend. It should be a good time.
You get to see Ben.
I guess. I don't know if that's a good thing.
What does that mean?
Like, I don't know if that's what I would be selling to everybody.
No,
You know
dude.
what I
People
mean?
are watching the show, dude. That's what I'd be selling.
All right, come on out to the ballpark. Say hi then.
Yeah, and you can see maybe, I don't know, some prospects at
Future
it's
Tigers.
It's a fun time to be watching minor league baseball. That's all I'll say, because chaos happens this week. So we'll see. Okay, we got some news about 10 minutes ago. LeBron James and ESPN are closing in on an agreement for a behind-the-scenes documentary series that will be similar to Michael Jordan's The Last Dance.
All in.
Oh, boy.
All in.
Now, it's ESPN produced. But they do all the 30 for 30s, I guess. So, like, those are usually pretty good.
And Last Dance was Netflix? Or it was independent but then put on Netflix?
I think so. I actually don't remember. Maybe it was an ESPN thing that got put on Netflix.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible. Is it going to be like a 10-parter?
Does that mean it's his last year, though?
No,
I didn't think it was his last year. But if he's doing it, if he's working on it this year, then, like, that kind of scares me a little bit.
I don't want it to be like The Last Dance, you know? Like, I don't want it to be told backwards, like, all surrounded around one season. I mean, unless he wins the title this year, then I guess
But
that's
The Last
fine.
Dance wasn't. I mean, it was like phrased to be centered around the last season, but it went over his whole career, obviously.
I know it went over his whole career, but it was centered around that last season in Chicago. Unless he wins the title in Philly, I hope it's just literally just a chronological thing of his career.
And I want it to be 70 parts.
Yeah. I want it to be a never-ending series.
It's pretty good. Man, the people in our YouTube chat do not like LeBron as much as you and I, man. It's messed
Hey,
up.
they can't appreciate greatness,
Look,
you know?
all I'm saying is we want to act like LeBron is the selfish one here. Michael Jordan put out a 10-part propaganda series when LeBron was winning the title in the bubble.
I got a take
Perfect
for you.
timing, huh?
I got a take for you. If you're a girlfriend or a wife of some sort, and your husband or boyfriend or partner doesn't like LeBron, that's a red flag because they can't appreciate the great things that are in front of them. They can't appreciate beauty in front of them. They're always going to want something better or think about something from the past more so. Always going to be like, yeah, but remember that other guy though.
Yeah.
That other
okay.
girl.
Ben with dating advice for the ladies out there today on a Thursday.
Ask your man today, do you like LeBron James? Is he the GOAT? And if that person says, no, he's Michael Jordan, they're thinking about somebody from their past. They can't appreciate what's in front of them.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, I like that. And that's why we like LeBron. It's that simple.
We can appreciate greatness.
All right. Man, these are funny YouTube chats right now about Jordan and LeBron. Maybe we just got to do a Jordan LeBron segment at some point. Okay, let's do some football stuff. Big Ten Media Day has been going on. It's not Media Day. It's Media Week for the Big Ten. It's like a 3-day kind of thing. Yesterday, Pat Fitzgerald speaking to the media. Did you see this quote? Pretty good. It's kind of getting blown out of proportion. I like it a lot, though. He says, quote, I wouldn't say our program has a chip on our shoulder. I'd say we have a bag of chips on our shoulder.
Who said that?
Pat Fitzgerald.
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
So just talking about everything that has happened this offseason with MSU, the last several seasons that they've had, just coming into this year, they have a bag of chips.
What does that even mean?
Like, they don't have a chip on their shoulder. They have so many
multiple
chips
on their shoulder. Yeah,
like, so many that you could have a bag of chips. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think?
That's like a kind of a loony tick thing to say.
It's pretty funny. I think it's funny, honestly. I've already seen a bunch of MSU fans, like, tweeting pictures of them with, like, a bag of chips
on their shoulder.
And they're like, I'm with Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah, 3-9.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a bag of chips on my shoulders, 3-9.
They win 4 games. It's like a win, which is just sad in itself. We were talking about Josue Briseño. He hit a home run last night. It's his 3rd home run in 9 games since returning to the Erie Seawolves. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Briseño get the nod to AAA before the end of the season so that at some time next year he's close to making his debut with the Tigers. I do want to go back to Big Ten Media Day, though, because I wanted to include this. Not Michigan, Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith confirming yesterday that he was offered $10 million to enter the transfer portal, but he never considered leaving Ohio State.
$10 million?
Now, this is obviously, like, Smith never even entered the portal, so that's just, of course, the one part about college athletics that's so terrible is, like, this whole poaching. You know, you're not allowed to recruit other players from other teams unless they're free agents in the NBA and in the big leagues and stuff. College, just there's no rules. So he was offered $10 million to enter the portal and potentially sign with a different team. But he said he never considered leaving Ohio State. He's in the best situation in the country. Discussed that over and over again. So, yeah. $10 million, though. It's not that crazy anymore. $10 million.
I mean, didn't Bryce Underwood get 10 to 12 million?
Right? Yeah.
The best receiver? Yeah, I mean.
The best player, maybe, in all of college football? Like,
yeah, probably. Is there a world where he goes number 1 this upcoming year? Probably not, just because there's probably too many teams with quarterback needs.
And the QB class is pretty good coming into this year. Like, maybe if he would have had eligibility to go last year, but
I don't think he'll go number 1, but he would be my lone guarantee to go in the top 5.
Is he the top non-quarterback pick?
For sure.
I think is probably the better way to phrase it.
It doesn't even matter if you already have a wide receiver or not. You take him.
Yeah, I just, like, is there going to be another huge defensive player that shines this year or something, you know? Like
he'd be my guarantee to go in the top 5 simply because I don't know who the top quarterback is going to be, you know? I don't know who the first quarterback off the board is going to be next year. True. Or who the best quarterback in college football is next year.
Could be Dante Moore coming from the Big Ten.
Obviously, Arch still exists, too. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I still love Lenore Sellers. His stock has fallen dramatically, but he's still out there.
We'll see. Yeah, it should be a fun season. I haven't, like, started diving into college football yet. Certainly going to have to, though, over the next couple weeks because it's ramping up, that's for sure. The Rocket Classic starting in Detroit today, the PGA event. None of your, like, major big-time PGA headliners are playing in this event. This is also the last year of the Rocket Classic being in Detroit. I believe so. It's not no PGA Tour event's going to be in Michigan next season, which kind of stinks. But Cameron Young participating in this, as well as a couple other headliners that have had really good seasons on the PGA Tour that started this morning, so they're already off there. The NBA investigation into whether the LA Clippers circumvented the salary cap to pay Kawhi Leonard potentially will drag into 2027 if both parties don't agree on the findings or any proposed settlement that involves punishing either the team or Kawhi Leonard. This, of course, is holding up everything. Kawhi is technically not on the Raptors yet. That trade has not been processed, is not gone through. Everyone is operating under the circumstance that he will be on the Raptors, which is fair because it seems like that's what's going to happen. Ben's favorite dude, Pablo Torre, has found out a little bit more information about Kawhi Leonard, that he invested in some soccer team in Rhode Island, RIFC. Him and his agent and his uncle all invested privately into that.
Can you imagine if it was like, yeah, like he invested into the Detroit Football Club? It's like, wait, what?
It's like
Are
that.
We in this?
It's like that.
I know.
Apparently, the owner of the club is like good friends, quote unquote, with Kawhi Leonard. I don't know, man.
Good friends with Steve Ballmer.
Might be. And it was funny because there was like on the Pablo Torre clip. This is really good. They interviewed the guy from Rhode Island FC, the owner, and they asked him like, hey, and they had the audio clip of and everything, like, you have an investment partner of Kawhi Leonard. Like, that's not something you want to, like, endorse. That's not something you want to try to, spin into a marketing tactic to make money off of that. Like, why is it so private and hush-hush, just like the aspiration was? You have Kawhi Leonard. This guy is, like, one of the best guys in the league the last decade. You're not going to, like, push anything that he's a supporter and investor of your team? And he was like, oh, respect Kawhi's privacy and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Sketchy.
I think Pablo Torre is incredibly good at his job. I just don't think I would ever be friends with him.
I mean, he's a professional snitch.
Yeah.
Like, that is what he does now.
Yeah, and like he leans into like
But it's real journalism.
being a snitch about it.
Just like you lean into being a radio host. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's going to lean into what they do, you know?
He finds out. We'll
We'll
real
do
hard.
one more thing here in the news, and then we'll save the rest for later because we do have a good amount of more football news to talk about, including the Madden. Some of the Madden stuff came out. Okay, interesting. But Jeff Passan yesterday did confirm, hey, the Tigers, they're going to trade Tarek Skubal away. That's going to happen. But also, he says that other orgs that are rumored to be involved in trading for Tarek Skubal, quote, they're all resigned to the idea that the LA Dodgers are just going to get Tarek Skubal anyways. So essentially every other organization that he has talked to knows in the back of their mind, it might not matter, which isn't a good thing for the Tigers.
I think
that
it's
means
fine.
the Dodgers control everything. Like, teams are just not going to be willing to give up as much as if they're just like, the Dodgers will just get him.
Yeah, and there was a piece yesterday that got put out by The Athletic during the Tigers game that essentially stated that, like, because of Ohtani's injury and their uncertainty with Robleski, who is at his most amount of innings pitched already, so they're like somewhat scared he's going to get hurt.
The Ohtani stuff is real, man. He legit might not pitch the rest of the year.
Yeah, so with that, they basically have Yamamoto and everybody else is a little like, we don't really know what this is going to
Blake
look
Snell
like.
has yet to pitch this year. Tyler Glasnow is not back from injury. Like, they have a
Sasaki's
great.
been up and down.
He's been bad, I would say. Yeah.
So
Sheehan's been fine.
it seems like and if I'm the Dodgers, I'm putting all this out just to scare other teams off. Like, don't even put a real offer in because we're just going to lowball the Tigers and get a good deal back. I think that the Dodgers can give the Tigers the best return anyway because they have the most prospects
Dodgers
in the top
or Brewers
100.
is the ideal partner, unfortunately, for the people that don't want the Dodgers to win again, but they are the ideal partner.
Correct. And they have the most top 100 prospects, the Dodgers. So probably leaning towards that. And selfishly, I know all the prospects more so than I know the prospects on the Brewers or any other team.
Be hearing a lot of John Vicari on the show next week if that happens.
989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9. The mid 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aired Insurance. Already told you that, though. Prime Package. If you need something shipped, Prime Package Plus comes prepared. They carry all four major carriers, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and DHL, to get you the best price. Right now, save $5 off any service with a minimum $25 purchase. Stop by Prime Package Plus on North Saginaw Road in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Couple updates from Dan Campbell this morning. Of course, we'll start with Jahmyr Gibbs and the saga there. He's still not practicing. Day number 2 of training camp today, and he was still not out there. That's not really surprising, but my panic meter yesterday was at like a 2 in terms of Jahmyr Gibbs sitting out. I was really not all that worried, and it remains a 2, maybe even a 1.5 after Dan Campbell was directly asked about it this morning in his press conference, saying, quote, "I'll get it done. Or it'll get done. It's going to get done. I'm not even sweating it." So to me, this just screams like, yeah, they're going to get the contract extension done sooner rather than later. There's no bad blood. They're just working out what the number is going to look like and what the contract is going to be. Not every single hold in or hold out is bad blood. Oh, the org won't give me this. Like, it's not all Jalen Duren versus the Pistons. Sometimes it's just, yeah, obviously we want you to be here. You want to be here. We're just working out what the number is going to be. It's not always playing hardball, and it doesn't feel like that's what it is right now with Jahmyr Gibbs. I have all the confidence in the world that this is going to get done prior to, I don't know, next Friday, a week from then. Like, it seems like it's going to get done in the next couple days. And I told you guys yesterday I have really conflicted feelings about this because, you know, on one hand, I don't really love the idea of paying running backs. You still have 3 years of team control left. You've got this year, 5th-year option. You could franchise tag him as well. But the issue is, I just don't want this to linger over the Lions season or training camp when you're going into the year thinking Jahmyr Gibbs could have an MVP type of season. He has all the leverage in this situation. I'd rather not set the precedent that, oh, we're going to pay everybody else but not him and have 3 years of dealing with, are the Lions going to give him a contract or not? That sounds like a headache for 3 years, and I don't want that. So I would just pay him if I'm the Detroit Lions right now. So I've kind of flipped from what I thought earlier in the offseason now that he's actually holding out. But nonetheless,
holding in.
Not worried at all, though.
Yeah, I'm not either. You mentioned it too. Like, this is not the Duren situation where you're trying to outsmart the player, trying to outsmart the agent. None of that's happening here. They want him back. They're going to try to get this done as soon as possible. And he's probably just worth the money, too. That's the thing. I understand that running backs, you don't pay them. I think we are starting, specifically with these 2 players, Bijan and Gibbs, we're entering a weird situation. The last time there's been a first-round drafted running back that has, at the end of their rookie deal, became like the best running back in the league, I can't think of one. Christian McCaffrey? Saquon Barkley didn't even get paid, you know? So it's like, it's been quite some time since this has happened because, one, we went through an era where these guys didn't even get picked in the first round, but the 5th-year option added maybe we should draft them. But then if they're too good, you run into a Jahmyr Gibbs situation that you're in right now. I still think, I don't know, is there any warrant to, like, they're waiting on each other? The Lions are waiting for the Falcons to do it. The Falcons are waiting for the Lions to do it. Or is it the opposite? Do you want to get out in front of it first?
I mean, you just end up getting into a staring contest.
It's not really going to matter at the end of the day. They're both going to get paid. We know they're both going to get paid, and it's probably going to be the same or very, very similar numbers. I just wonder if that's any approach that the Lions are taking here.
I believe the last running back to get paid by the team that they got drafted by, a first rounder, was Ezekiel Elliott. It's been a while.
He got paid?
By the Cowboys? Yeah, I think he got paid twice. Because remember, he was in Cancun and he wasn't showing up to camp and he was like gladly not there. It was like weird, that whole saga. Fun era.
Something, yeah.
But yeah, so it's been like a full decade since a first-round running back has got a contract extension, or a running back who was drafted in the first round got a contract extension. That was noteworthy thing number one. Also made note that Peyton Turner got banged up yesterday, won't be practicing. Okay, so cool. Peyton Turner lasted 1 full day. That was kind of his whole thing, that he never was able to stay healthy, former first-round pick. So shout out to Peyton Turner for getting hurt. And then Giovanni Manu, this is the big thing that I was so irrationally upset about when I heard this. So after training camp yesterday, Giovanni Manu, the guy the Lions traded a 3rd-round pick to go up into the 4th round to go get, even though he wasn't on anybody's big board. That guy, and by the way, was the worst offensive lineman in any single game in preseason last year. Like, just truly a god-awful person and football player. Giovanni Manu, after camp, got put on the NFI, so that was super weird. It was like, well, he didn't get hurt in practice, so what happened? Well, apparently he was banged up and didn't tell anybody. And then after practice was like, yeah, I think I am hurt actually. And they put him on the NFI, and Dan Campbell said he's out for 12 to 14 weeks. I hate this guy so much. It's the worst draft pick that Brad Holmes has ever had other than maybe Hendon Hooker. I can't believe other than capital they used to draft him and trade up for him. He's the most useless football player that's ever existed. Wasn't on anybody's big board. Has been an absolute mess anytime he's out there. My least favorite Lion of all time. Turns out he's a big fat liar too. And now his Lions career is most likely done, if it wasn't already. Liar. Capital Liar. He was a liar. You got to tell people when you're hurt, man. Got to tell people when you're hurt. And that's mostly the updates that happened with Dan Campbell. It wasn't like there was anything pressing at his press conference other than the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff, and he dismissed it pretty fast that he is not at all concerned about what's going on with Jahmyr Gibbs. So not a whole lot of updates from day one versus day two.
We all know that you were happy with that Giovanni Manu news.
100%.
We all knew that made you happy. There's a reason for you to talk about him.
It's
your favorite guy.
I have debated whether or not I bring a cake in the day he gets cut.
I mean, that feels a little...
Yeah, I decided
that's
was
like a little
too much.
hater activity. Not little, like it's a lot of hater.
Yeah, I decided it was too much and I wasn't going to do it. But I thought about it. Now I have reasons to not like him personally too, though. He's a liar.
Personally, you know the guy?
He's a liar.
You don't know him?
I know he lied.
I have reasons to hate him personally, he says.
I know he lied.
Did he, sleep with your girlfriend or something? You're making it seem like you know the guy.
No. None of that. He just sucks at football. Is an eyesore to watch.
Yeah.
All right, this is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. We'll do Around the League when we come back, some football to work in, and we'll circle back to the Tigers and the inevitability of trading Tarek Skubal and the recalling of Max Clark, who's now joining the Tigers on the big league roster reportedly tomorrow. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about technology. That's why I trust Link Technology in Midland. They handle all the complicated stuff like IT support, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, networking, so I don't have to stress about it. Whatever your business needs, their team knows exactly what to do. They make it easy to understand along the way. Link Technology, the experts who keep your business running smoothly so you can focus on what you do best.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. It's time to take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Let's see if Kyle knows ball here. Kyle, you think you know ball? You think you know Madden ball?
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between knowing ball and Madden. I don't think I know Madden ball. No.
Well, I'm going to start throwing out
Okay.
players, and you got to tell me what their Madden rating is. I'm only going to stick to Detroit Lions, though.
Okay, see, I saw the quarterbacks and wide receivers ratings. Those are the only ones I saw. So, and honestly, I don't even remember what Goff was. So, yeah.
Well, let's start.
I don't play Madden. Worth noting for you Madden players out there. I think they inflate their ratings pretty highly, though, is kind of what I've gathered.
They have been over the years.
I haven't played
yeah.
Madden in a couple years, I'll say.
Okay, first player I'm going to have you guess is none other than Jared Goff.
Okay, all I saw was that he was a top 10 highest rated quarterback, which is fair. So I would think that he's probably like right below a 90. I'm going to go with like an 88.
Oh, Kyle, you nailed it.
Let's go. See, but that one I kind of knew. I knew he was a top 10, so. Okay, let's go. 1 for 1.
Here's what I don't really understand, though. This can't be right.
88, does that not feel a little high? See, I'm just a guy that operates off of 2K ratings, and like an 88 overall is like the 8th best player in the game.
Oh, so they've only come out with the top 10 players at every position. I was about to say, how is there a drop from 88 to 74? Yeah, that's correct. They're inflated. You want to guess the couple quarterbacks ahead of Jared Goff?
I told you, I saw this list.
Oh.
Like Dak is in there, right?
Dak is 91. Caleb Williams is 90. Justin Herbert's 90. So Madden says Caleb Williams is already better than Goff. And in Madden, I think that makes a little sense. Like he's just faster.
Yeah, sure. In the video game, I guess. Yeah, Goff doesn't have. I mean, all the accuracy stuff is going to be really high, but okay.
Penei Sewell, he's the highest ranked player for the Detroit Lions.
So when we guessed the 99 overalls, he wasn't, but I remember he was close. Because Lane Johnson was a 99 overall or something?
Yeah.
I think Sewell was a 98 or 97. I'll go with 98.
He's a 98, correct. And you're just nailing this right now. How about Jahmyr Gibbs? What was Jahmyr Gibbs?
Okay, this is one I actually don't know. See, this is hard because Gibbs had a great year. And how highly, Saquon was a 99 last year. He was part of the 99 club. So Gibbs has to be I'll go 95.
And Gibbs a 98. He's the highest rated running back in the entire game. 98 speed. I mean, he would be a cheat code in a video game.
Wow, 90. See, I was going to go 96, and I was like, I'll just stick with 95.
No, 98. He is the highest overall running back in the entire game. Christian McCaffrey's a 97. Crazy, right?
It is crazy.
And I believe Jamo's the highest speed in the game at a 99. I believe he's the only player with a 99 speed. Gibbs is a 98.
Heck yeah.
All right. What is Jameson Williams' overall ranking, though?
See, this is hard because I have no idea. I know what the top receivers are, but for a guy like Jamo who's in the 10 to 25 range probably of a wide receiver, I have no idea what... in my head, if I just thought, what's Jamo's rating in Madden? Immediately, I think 86. So I will rock with 86.
Pretty close. Jamo's an 85.
Ooh. Close.
85.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair rating for Jamo.
I'm trying to find the players with the highest speed in the game.
And Jamo is... where does that rate among all the wide receivers?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I could not tell you. What I'm trying to find is the fastest players in the entire game right now. Sort it by speed. See what comes up. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there is... Well, yeah. Gibbs has a 98 speed. And I believe Jamo's a 99. But it doesn't say. All right, what is Sam Laporta's Madden rating?
All right. If Jamo's an 86, I would think Laporta's in that, or he's 85. Laporta's in that realm, coming off a fine year, but he's also probably still around a top 5 tight end. 84.
He's an 87.
Ah, man.
One of the top tight ends in the game.
Like his jersey.
Correct, like his jersey.
87. Okay, shout out Laporta. Yeah, I mean, that should make more sense because he's one of the top tight ends in the game. Every position is inflated. Yeah, that's fair.
What is Aiden Hutchinson's ranking?
98 for Gibbs and Sewell. Hutchinson's got to be close, but also he's not a top 3 edge rusher probably.
No, but Myles Garrett's a 99.
Garrett's
if
a
that
99,
helps you.
and then you have like the other guys that are close. Parsons was a 99, right? He was close.
I think he was a 98.
I'm going to say Hutchinson is a 96.
Let's see if you are correct. Aiden Hutchinson is a 93 overall in Madden. But
93?
it's the 6th highest rating of any edge rusher. So, like, still
Am
pretty
I supposed
fair.
to be happy about that? He's better than the 6th best edge rusher.
I think he's better than everybody. Well, I only think there's one person ahead of him that's not actually better than him, and that's Nick Bosa. But I don't think he's better than Will Anderson, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, or Myles Garrett. I think he's the 5th best edge rusher in the league.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tell me what Jack Campbell's Madden rating is.
Ooh. See, this one is hard because coming off in a tremendous year, but legacy plays a lot into these Madden rankings. I'm going to say Jack Campbell is an 88 overall, just like Goff.
87.
Oh, close.
He's an 87 overall.
Man, I'm getting off by 1 on all these.
You're doing good, I think. 87 overall. What's a Lee McNeil, though? Tell me what a Lee McNeil
Oh,
is.
see, this is a bad one. This could be bad. In my head, I immediately just thought 82 overall, but like he is coming off a year that is just like, ugh. Maybe he's like an 80. No way he's in the 70s. I'll split it. I'll go 81. 81 overall for McNeil.
83. He's an 83 overall.
Dang, really? Okay, shout out McNeil.
Yeah. All right, let's
Better than I thought.
Give me some of the rookies. What do you think
Oh.
Derek Moore's rating is?
See, I always remember a rule, like when a dude came in, a rookie, they were never rated higher than like an 80. They were always like high 70s. Now I don't know anymore.
Usually the number 1 overall player in a draft is like an 80 overall or a 79
Yeah,
overall.
exactly. Like super high 70s. So Derek Moore is probably second rounder, probably like a 75 overall on the nose.
Derek Moore's a 77.
Really? Okay, that's pretty good.
What about Blake Miller, though? 54 career starts under his belt.
See, Miller should be better than a 77. One of the best tackles in the class. 78.
Yeah, he's a 75.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 77 for Moore?
I don't know.
75? Are you kidding me? What's Cade Mays? Is he on there?
Let me see. It's like weird because some of him is out and some of it's like, but it's not fully listed.
Oh, okay. Well, if he's not, then that's fine.
No, I can't see what Cade Mays overall is in Madden. Yeah, that's all I got for you.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to guess Isaac Tesla's rating.
Of course I do.
Yeah, guess Tesla's, knowing that
Caught a lot of touchdowns.
Knowing that
wide receivers get a little bit of a boost.
Knowing that Derek Moore's a 79, what's Isaac Tesla?
77, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, 77.
That makes me think Tesla's a 79, and you just said it. So I go 79.
No, he's a 73.
Oh.
I don't understand that.
Honestly, I think that's fine. Like, if I didn't know the rating of Derek Moore, I would think 73 for Tesla feels about right.
I like that in Madden. They really make you work towards the ratings. You know, you don't just like one good season, all of a sudden get a really high rating.
They really make you work for it. I mean, what do you mean? These guys are rated in the 90s, like, for doing nothing.
Who in the 90s have I said doesn't deserve a 90
I'm just
rating?
kidding.
I think it's fair. The only 90s guys on the Lions are Gibbs, Hutch, St. Brown. and Sewell. That seems fair to me.
Yeah.
Maybe Goff should be in there, but like I'm not going to be hard pressed about it. Yeah, I don't know. Look, we're going to get into the Tarek Skubal stuff here again. We're going to get into the Max Clark stuff here again in the 11 o'clock hour. This has been a really exciting show because right as the show started, we got the news that Max Clark is getting called up to the Detroit Tigers. They're off today, but will be in action tomorrow. It's against Homeless A's, right? Yeah, yes. The Homeless A's.
Late nighter. West Coast start for Max Clark.
I'm not opposed to this because we got games here, so hopefully we do get to catch the first Max Clark at bat because the Loons game is maybe wrapped up by then. Is it a true 10 p.m. start?
9:40.
9:40. That's a little better than 10 p.m. I would say. Yeah, I'm thrilled about it to see Max Clark. Hey, Randy's Green Thumb. They've been proudly serving the Midland area with family-owned friendly service since 1982. Offering everything from fresh floral arrangements and vibrant house and outdoor plants to expert landscape and interior plant services. They also maintain and install beautiful gardens, ponds, trees, shrubs, helping both homes and businesses thrive with greenery that lasts. Visit Randy's Green Thumb at Poseyville Road and bring brilliant color, life, and inspiration to your home this upcoming season. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Yesterday's game, I think, totally sealed the deal for Tarek Skubal. He's gone. He's as good as done. 7-0 the lead was. 7-1 the lead was when he got taken out of the game. It was the 7th inning. They were 1 out away from the 8th, and they somehow blow the game and don't win it in extra innings. Just an unbelievable loss for this team. If we're going to take the Tigers' word for it, that they're going to play this thing out, let every game this week and the last 2 weeks dictate what they're going to do at the deadline, then losing a series to the team that you're going toe-to-toe with in the wild card race is, in fact, the nail in the coffin. They are going to trade Tarek Skubal at this year's deadline. I think that was his last game. Really sad to see them lose in that fashion after he went out there and pitched. Well, it wasn't like his best outing of the year or anything close to that, but was a Tarek Skubal outing. He was really good. Scoreless through 6 innings. The fact that he got the run support and they still could not win the game was pretty disastrous on behalf of the bullpen. If I'm Tarek Skubal, I'm walking around today like I can't even still believe that they lost this game. It's my day off and I just want to get the hell out of Detroit. Because that's the thing that I think people are failing to realize. I think Tarek Skubal really wants to be here. He can put on this facade that he loves Detroit and I want to win a World Series here and I don't want to be traded. I think that's all BS. I think he wants to win a World Series, but I think if he has any sort of intelligence, he understands that that is not happening in Detroit this year. And if he didn't think that before yesterday, he certainly does now. This bullpen sucks and is not good enough to win multiple playoff rounds, let alone enough games in the regular season to get them into the postseason. It's as simple as that. So the obvious thing to do is trade away Tarek Skubal. With that being said, I don't think trading away Tarek Skubal means that you're tearing this thing down to the studs. I think you have a really strong core going forward. You just happen to have an awful month of May. That is going to be the reason you don't make the playoffs. Because if the Tigers just went 500 in May, we would be talking about holding on to Skubal and buying at this year's deadline. That's the bottom line. But it's not what happened. They won 6 games in May. So now they're in a situation where they must sell Skubal, but it doesn't mean that all is doomed. All is gloom. That's not it. Look at the core. Riley Green, Kevin McGonigal, Dylan Dingler, strong. They're adding Max Clark by pulling him up and calling him up to the bigs. Strong. That's 4 guys that you can count on every day as players. That alone, even if Max Clark is average right away, is as deep as it's ever been in terms of core bats on this team. Now you have an opportunity to trade Tarek Skubal because he's going to walk in free agency anyway and add another piece, and then all of a sudden you have 5 foundational pieces. Tigers have been lucky to say they've had 3 at certain points. And that was before McGonigal and Dingler. That was when your core was Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, and Kerry Carpenter. Well, clearly those guys didn't pan out, not all of them. And now you're readjusting, working on the fly, and you could have 4, 5, 6 guys a part of your core. If Bryce Rayner pans out, Max Clark pans out, if they can add one more piece for Tarek Skubal, and then you are talking about a team that maybe is good enough to win the World Series because they are not right now. The reason I feel so comfortable trading away Tarek Skubal is because you have Troy Melton, is because you have Jackson Jobe. It's because you have Connor Montero. You have a deep rotation. The starting pitching is still strength, and if Max Clark hits, all of a sudden your bats become a strength too. So trading Tarek Skubal isn't the end of the world. It's turning a page. And if you turn this page, I think the next page is going to be quite bright. But the problem is some fans are so hell-bent on crying their eyes out and tears dripping onto the Tarek Skubal page that it's blurring their vision as to what this can be. Not just, the future, it's all about the prospects. It's right now. Max Clark just got called up. It's right now. I really do think next year, the Tigers could win the AL Central. Next year. It's easy to say that because we're still in this year. But nonetheless, unless you think all of those players are going to regress, all 6 of the core guys, 7 if you include Max Clark, unless you think all of them are going to regress, then this is a good team going into next year. The deepest team we've ever had, with or without Tarek Skubal. I think it's the right decision, and I think yesterday is as clear as day that they should trade him. Calling up Max Clark is another sign they're going to. I think trading away Tarek Skubal and calling up Max Clark is the Tigers officially telling us they're turning the page on the Tarek Skubal era of the Tigers. They're moving into the McGonigal era. And I'm pretty thrilled to see what the McGonigal era holds for this city and this team going forward.
Yeah, so the Clark Skubal stuff is going to overlap by like a couple days maybe. And that's if he isn't traded before tomorrow. I guess who really knows? I have a question for you, but before I ask it, I do just want to, reiterate the fact that, you mentioned that the Skubal stuff coming into this year and how this year hasn't worked out for the Tigers. It is ultimately an utter failure from this team for what has happened this year. Like, we can be happy about the core. We can feel good about that. Yes, this season was an absolute failure, and it's a failure from everybody up top. And now they've been given this unique opportunity to, hey, I know you failed miserably at your job, but you can kind of fix it right here at the trade deadline, and we'll give you a couple more years. We'll just act like this year didn't happen, because now the plan was never to trade Tarek Skubal at this point, right? Coming into the season, we never were on board of, oh, man, we might be trading Skubal in July. If I would have said that to you in the preseason, you would have smacked me in the face.
I know.
Like, that was never on the table.
We were all in.
And now that it hasn't worked out, hey, honestly, the right thing for the organization always was trading Tarek Skubal and not losing him for nothing. And you were never going to do that if you were contending to win the World Series. But now that we know that they're not contending the World Series, it's probably what's best for the organization, even if you were good. So you have this unique opportunity to fix it. Actually do it now. And you can still do it with Mize. You can do it with Gleyber Torres too, sure. But you got to do it with Skubal. I just wanted to ask you, like, so you for sure think he's getting traded now? Because you've really gone back and forth. I mean, a Monday morning show, you were like, a week from right now, he's not getting traded. And
Are you talking about this past Monday?
Yeah.
No, I said he's going to get traded, but my prediction is he's still actually.
No, you said he's not going to get traded. And then the other day you were like, now I'm like 60% he's going to get traded. I'm just asking how you're feeling right now, because you've been changing, like, it's been changing on a daily basis, almost like Scott Harris and the Tigers changing their mind on a game-to-game basis.
Well, the reason my mind was changing on a daily basis based on what they should do, not my prediction, not my opinion on what they should do, is because the Tigers had taken that approach that they're going to take this thing day by day. And if that was the case, then I didn't know, because it felt like it was shifting day by day on whether or not they're going to trade Skubal.
But you for sure think they're trading him?
I'd say 98% chance they trade Tarek Skubal at this point.
Even after yesterday's start, when you had thought he should go out and get his final strikeout and then be done, if they plan on trading him, letting him throw 90-plus pitches in 6 2/3 inning was probably not the right decision?
I think it's more so telling about all the national guys, whether it's Rosenthal or Passan or Nightingale, after that game, basically writing in pen that Tarek Skubal is going to be on the Dodgers. I think that's a lot more telling. And Passan putting out a piece this morning that was essentially like, yeah, Skubal's going to get traded. That's more telling than the actual loss of yesterday, which was a very obvious message to anyone that watched that game of this team's not good enough with or without Tarek Skubal. Clearly, as they take him out of the game and they blow a 7-run lead.
Yeah.
Do you not think it's like 98%?
No, I've always thought that way. I'm just saying you have been changing your mind a lot on it. So I'm just wondering what you think.
Yeah, I think it's all but a guarantee that he's on the move and is going to be somewhere else by the end of, I don't know, the way that all the national guys are making it seem like as if it's going to be in the next day or two.
Well, Passan saying it's going to be the next day or two, I don't think was saying he's going to be traded. He just said that Scott Harris and the Tigers have been taking this approach where they're not really like calling other teams about it. They're not like the ones being the aggressors about this. And he said, I expect that to happen now in the next day or two, because we have, like, I know that it's been crunch time for the last couple weeks, and coming into this week, we're like, 1 week left. Now that he has made his last scheduled start pre-deadline, we are like legit in crunch time now. There's no more, we got to make sure he gets past his final start without getting injured. And, is he going to keep pitching well post-injury? We are like right now until Monday at 6 p.m. in the major crunch time mode of this. Every living hour that goes by, I'm going to be refreshing my Twitter page to see the next rumor.
I think that as soon as the Tigers are the ones that are like, they're playing hardball, they don't know. And then all of a sudden, if you're the Dodgers and you see Scott Harris calling, I feel like you lose a little bit of leverage. I know you disagree with that, but like it does, if you're going to play hardball, we don't know. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, like now we have to trade him. So now we're going to pick up and call the teams back. I feel like you lose a little bit of leverage in that situation.
You only lose leverage if the only team buying is the Dodgers.
Which it seems like could be true.
It's not true. It's not true. Teams just think that, like, it's just clearly not true. All the reporting is that there are 5-6 teams that have been trying to get Tarek Skubal. They just all think that the Dodgers have the best offer. They can think whatever they want. Do we even know if the Dodgers are offering any of their top guys? No.
Do we
Nobody
even know
knows
that the other teams are calling though?
We do. Passan has reported on it. Like it has been reported on by legitimate guys across baseball.
I just
the
feel
Brewers
like
are actually buying. The Rays are actually buying.
Every report I have read though is just like, yeah, it's presumed that the Dodgers are going to end up with him, which makes me think like that is them messaging out there. Don't even try. We're going to one up your offer, which is ultimately a good thing if other teams are trying because it drives the Skubal price up. But it does concern me that these other teams are, they may be interested, but when it comes time to actually make an offer, they're going to lowball themselves because they're scared to actually put anything else out there. And then it does become a Dodgers one-team
Now,
race.
it could just be a Dodgers push there of like, hey, don't even bother Brewers. Don't even bother Braves because we're going to have the best deal at the end of the day anyways. And so it has them teams back out. It's once again the stance, and I think the Ohtani stuff like it does change a lot of things. Because really the only reason the Dodgers had to trade for Tarik Skubal, this sounds silly, it was not to add the back-to-back Cy Young to their already loaded rotation. It was just so the Brewers don't get him.
Yeah.
It was just so the Braves and Phillies don't get him.
Well, now it's to replace Ohtani, who potentially might not be pitching the rest of the year.
Like now it actually has some validity to it. Whereas we felt that they have the best, I mean, the Dodgers rotation is insane. The Brewers got Skubal, man. The Brewers go Skubal, Miz in games 1 and 2 of the National League Championship Series. Like
you win those games.
And the Brewers are going to buy. Like the Brewers, I am very excited to see what their deadline looks like because last year they relatively sat on their hands as the best team in baseball. They were the best team all season long last year. They were better than the Dodgers. And they soft bought. They did a little bit more than the Tigers did.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like they were on the Tigers' path.
They soft bought. They went up against the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series, and they got swept. And they had a great season. It was awesome, and they got swept. Everything reporting-wise this year is that, hey, they have a loaded farm system. They are willing to move off of some of those guys, even for a rental, to actually have a shot at doing something this year against that Dodgers team. And I believe it, because last year it didn't happen. They might go trade for their guy Freddie Peralta back from the Mets. That's been reported on, too. That'd be kind of hilarious if that happens. So even if it's not Skubal, like here's what I do if I'm the Tigers. Whatever team I'm trading Skubal to, hey, guys, like we have this guy Casey Mize, too. I've seen Casey Mize to Brewers trade offers. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I know that we traded Skubal to your rival. How about we give you Casey Mize? You're just going to let them get Skubal and do nothing?
We're literally like an arms dealer. We're just supplying everybody with weapons.
Like the Tigers,
let's go have both the NL teams completely load up. We'll give Skubal one and Mize to the other. Let those teams kill each other in the National League.
Like this is
arms
fun.
dealer. This feels illegal.
This sounds stupid to say, and maybe this makes me a loser fan because it's the team selling at the end of the day and quote unquote giving up. But like, this is fun to be a Tigers fan at this deadline. It's fun to think about all the possibilities and controlling the trade deadline. You want to know why it's fun? Because the last 2 years at the trade deadline, our team has sat and stared at the blank wall for 3 days straight and done nothing. Sat in a quiet room and not spoken to anyone. Oh, we trade for all these stupid relievers. None of them are any good. And then the Jack Flaherty stuff. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen because it easily could for a third straight time, but we have basically been non-factors at the deadline the last 2 years when they absolutely should have been.
Now we're playing the game.
This year, they could be the factor at the trade deadline. It's fun to think about all the possibilities.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. 11 o'clock hour, though, they're brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes perfect with their insurance. They treat you like family, not just another policy number. From auto and business to life coverage, Yiter has the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Welcome back into the show, everybody. You know, the part that we kind of ignored in the last segment was Max Clark. He gets called up, should be making his Motor City Tigers debut on the road tomorrow against the homeless A's.
It's going to be a while before we see him at home. They got like 3 series in a row out west.
I know. Kind of unfortunate. I wish his first game was obviously at Comerica Park. I think he'd get a warm welcome. But maybe they're like sending him away with the idea like, yeah, let's let Skubal go first, and then we'll be like, hey, look at this, back to our home crowd. We got Max Clark.
Let him get like 8 games under his belt so that he can get a little warmed up to the big league level before returning home.
Yeah, and then it's like, hey, like they're trying to do the Flash from Men in Black. It's like, you don't even remember Skubal. Look, you got Max Clark now. Remember him?
Oh, look, Job is back too now.
They make Job wear 29.
This has always been our team.
Job comes out wearing 29.
Be messed up.
I don't remember what number Job is.
I think he was like 28, low key.
Was he?
I could just be totally misremembering that. But.
Yeah, I am thrilled to see what Max
21.
Clark looks like, because he could come join this team and be the 4th pillar of the lineup every day, in addition to McGonigal, Green, and Dingler. They've never had any more than 4 guys, and even when it was like Glaber, Green, Torkelson, and Kerry Carpenter, even when it was those 4, like in hindsight, it never could be those 4. Torkelson and Carpenter aren't good enough to be a part of that. And obviously TBD on whether or not Max Clark is good enough to be that. But if he does show some sort of signs that he can be a quality big league hitter, give you good at-bats, 5-tool player, everyday center fielder, suddenly you do have the deepest offensive team that you've ever had, with or without Derek Skubal. That's plain and clear at this point.
Yeah, and I'm just interested to see, like, as far as Clark's, like, where he's going to play. Obviously, I hope he's going to be an everyday player, but Max Clark this year in AAA has played in, I'm trying to do some quick math, 90 games now on the season, 90 total. 89 of those he played in center field, and one of them he was the designated hitter. Like, he did not play a single game in left or right field this year. Straight center field because of how good he is out there. And obviously, like at the AAA level, it's a little bit easier in the big leagues as well.
And I know he had the drops in spring training.
That's what everybody thinks
whatever,
about.
man.
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Literally whatever. So, I don't know. I think he's the everyday center fielder. I think he kind of has to be.
Well, they don't really have one of those guys right now. Now it's Javi Baez.
Javi Baez, and Javi Baez, like, as fun as it is, he is not a center fielder. You know, like,
I think
he was
pretty good out there.
He is. I don't disagree.
I don't think his range is quite as much as, like, it's not as good as you want as center fielders to be. Now,
it's
once
also
he gets
better for
underneath
McGonigal to not play shortstop every day.
Correct.
Knowing that he's not the long-term shortstop. You know, like, ideally McGonigal is the third baseman of the future, not like currently, but
I think he's pretty good at shortstop.
I think Bryce Rayner's pretty gooder at shortstop.
I agree with you there. Yeah, Javi's really good in center field. Like, once he does get under, like, he's not really making diving catches or anything, but, like, he just moves really well out there. But at the end of the day, his range isn't as great as, like, a Parker Meadows or a Max Clark. Parker Meadows could be dead. I have no idea.
I sure hope not.
Max Clark is for now, I think, the everyday center fielder with the Detroit Tigers. I have a hard time thinking he won't be an everyday player. I have a hard time thinking they're calling him up not to be in the lineup every single day. Let's just get him as many at-bats as possible on the road.
Yeah.
And then by the time he comes home, hopefully he has 30 at-bats under his belt.
Another thing worth noting for Max Clark this year, you talk about, like, he should be an everyday player no matter who's on the mound. Similar to Kevin McGonigal, his splits are he doesn't matter against lefties, against righties. Clark this year, this doesn't include OPS, but has 87 at-bats versus left-handed pitching at the AAA level, hitting 287. Against righties, he's hitting 273 and nearly 300 at-bats. So, like, obviously a much larger sample, but he's better against lefties. And 90 at-bats, that's a pretty good sample. It's not like he's getting rested in these games. You know, he's faced every lefty possible this year. He's hit 3 home runs off of left-handed pitching this season. So that's the part about Clark is this is not a guy that's called up and it's how you lead. And it's okay. He's going to play some days. He's going to not. No, he's playing every day.
He's the number one prospect.
He's the number one prospect. And for a long time, he was a top 10 prospect in baseball. And just as of the most recent ranking, he fell out of it to number 13. Just barely fell out of it. And that's because a lot of other guys have just extremely excelled. And I think...
And he's stayed steady. It's not like he's like
that's what I was going to say.
Destroyed the minor leagues at any level, really. He's just been a very steady presence for any team that he's on. He gives teams quality at-bats at the very top of the lineup card, which is invaluable. And I do think, like, obviously when he makes his debut tomorrow, he'll probably be in the 8 or 9 hole. I think that's the future leadoff guy. Like, him and McGonigal will just flip-flop whether or not who's the 1 and who's the 2 hitter. I think those are your 1-2 punch for the most part going forward, at least ideally, if McGonigal's panning out.
Yeah. When I had the take last week that Clark should be called up, a lot of the reaction was, but he's just been okay at AAA. Like, no, he just hasn't been awesome. That's the reason why people had that take. They expect these guys in the minor leagues to do what McGonigal did, to do what Colt Keith did when he was at this level, to have a 1,200 OPS and lead all of minors in doubles or whatever it is.
To force their way up.
Clark has been steady all season long. He has been a mainstay of this lineup. He's played in 90 games, as I mentioned. That's over half of a season sample size. He has not had dips. He has not had streaks of being bad. He has been consistently him, and I think it's at this point, like, what would we rather do for the corresponding move to Matt Vierling likely hitting the injured list? Call up another random dude? Trey Cruz. Let's get him back on the major league team. How about we give Jace Young his 30th time trying it out in the big league?
He's still in
you know what I'm saying? It's just like it gets to a point where, okay, can we figure this out in a different way? Now, if you want to take the rookie eligibility standpoint of they could potentially be burning his rookie year if he plays for over 45 days in the big league roster. Sure, I can understand that standpoint. My take would be the guys that are in charge of making that call are probably not going to be here when that gets played out 6 years down the line. So it doesn't matter to them. And Max Clark just makes the team better. And I think that's, at the end of the day, that should be end of sentence, period. That guy makes the team better, and he's the top prospect, and he's going to be here for a while, hopefully. Yeah, let's get that guy in the big league roster. That's exciting.
You say he's been steady. How's this for steady? Across 3 levels the last 2 seasons across 3 levels. High A, 857 OPS. Double A, 799 OPS. This year in Toledo, 802 OPS. That's steady right there. That's an above-average hitter right there. And obviously we're not striving for Max to be just an above-average hitter. We're striving for him to be a little bit more than that. But if he's in the bigs in 800 OPS with awesome center field range and is stealing bases and just gives the Tigers quality at bats, that's more than enough.
Yeah, and
that's great.
Exactly. Yeah, he struggled in 10 games of spring training. That was also in the spring.
And he was 21?
And he spent, I think he's 21 now. Yeah, he's 21 now, turns 22 in December. But
okay, so he was 21.
He spends, but like he's still 21. He spends 90 games at AAA. Like this is a different player than he was in spring. It just straight up.
I can't wait. I'm excited. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Minute. Told you that Yider Insurance gives you our 11 o'clock hour. What I didn't tell you is that when it comes to trees on your property, trust the professionals at Legendary Tree Care. From routine trimming and tree removal to emergency storm cleanup, their experienced team provides safe, reliable service you can count on. Legendary Tree Care is proud to serve Mid-Michigan with strength, safety, and skill to keep your property looking its best.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Oh yeah.
Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. Big time show today. Max Clark getting called up for the Tigers. Excited to see him in action tomorrow. Let's hit the news in the meantime. Kyle, take it away.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
And we already got the biggest news of the day. Who cares about everything else, right?
True that.
Just kidding. I'm going to tell you about all of it. Football news. Puka Nacua.
Oh, God.
Who is another...
Oh, God.
No,
oh,
this
God.
actually
What do
isn't
you do
bad.
now?
This isn't bad.
What do you bite now?
Puka Nacua, who we talked about yesterday, one of the more interesting guys heading into camp, of course, with him being eligible for an extension, said, quote, after returning to Rams, or he was there for Rams day one of practice, said, "It never crossed my mind to not take part in Rams training camp. Will not be any holdout, hold in for a new contract or anything like that." That's a good sign for a Rams team that, of course, this is the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and he's one of their best players, if not their best offensive player. So, big-time news for the Rams.
I thought what Ian Rappaport said yesterday on the Insiders was really interesting with
What'd he say?
with Puka Nacua. Basically said, like, it's never been a question about talent. The Rams aren't going to give him a contract extension heading into this season because they want to make sure he can get through an entire season and make sure he's right between the ears. It's like, oh, they just want to make sure this guy's head is screwed on right, and if he does, he'll get a new contract. It's as simple as that, but you got to behave yourself for 12 months. Is that possible for a guy like Puka Nacua? We shall see.
Gotta behave yourself, man.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I mean, he literally has. Like, last year was the first year that he hadn't.
But it wasn't even last year. It was like a 3-week stretch.
Yeah, the end of last year, exactly.
This guy was like the most beloved wide receiver in the league. His name was Puka Nacua, for crying out loud. It's just like a fun name to say.
Yeah.
The crazy hair. He looked like a Greek god in a lot of ways. And then in the blink of an eye, he just like pissed everybody off really quickly and became public enemy number one in the league. So hopefully he can shake that narrative. It's kind of hard to break that mold, though.
Yeah, it is. So we'll see what happens with Puka Nacua. This got me thinking, though, is Matt Stafford, when's the last time the reigning MVP has been like the third best player on his team? Isn't that just
Wait,
weird
you
to
think
think
Matt
about?
Stafford's the third best player on the Rams?
You don't?
No, I would have him two still.
You
I
think
mean, he
he's
just won an MVP.
over Nacua?
Yeah, I would still have him over Nacua.
Really?
I mean, I think Nacua is the third best wide receiver in the NFL.
And we think
last year,
Stafford's not a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
I think it's not crazy to have him third.
Yeah, I guess.
Mahomes, Allen, and Stafford. I don't think that's that's my top 3 right now.
Okay, that's fair, actually, yeah. I guess I didn't really think about it that hard. Okay, anyways. Detroit is hosting the Rocket Classic PGA Tour this weekend. I already mentioned that. They're underway today. Most people have teed off. There's still a good amount of afternoon, I guess, tee-offs that still have to happen. Leaders right now, Captain Keegan Bradley tied for second right now, 6 under through 15. Ricky Fowler's also 6 under. And Peter Malnati is the leader, 9 under through 16. Cameron Young, J.J. Spawn, that group of guys who kind of are some of the headliners at the tournament this weekend, have yet to tee off. They tee off at 12:54. Did you see yesterday, too, they did a par 3 in the D, is what they called it? There was like it was like in the city.
I saw that.
Had a par 3 hole.
Like from a rooftop.
Yeah, from a rooftop, like in the buildings. Yeah, like crazy.
All I could think was I would break a window.
Well,
for
yeah,
sure.
They're not letting guys like you play that.
Thanks, man.
Mainly good players. We got to play golf soon, man. We haven't played golf in a minute. I'm thinking about that.
I haven't played 18 in a while.
Another road to 99. What do you think you're going to shoot? You think taking days off is good or bad?
We'll see. I have no idea. I would say maybe good. Like, I haven't had the chance to think about it, but I would maybe like to hit the range before. Would probably be the best thing.
Yeah, or even like a day before.
Yeah, the day before, that'd be nice too. I think it has to be the day of. I'll lose everything. If I go the day before, I feel like I fixed it, and then if I go, and then like
sometimes I've found this is just a me thing, because obviously most people will hit range before they play 18. Sometimes I have found hitting the range before I play 18 it's almost too much.
Yeah.
I'm swinging the club too many times.
I
get
would
to
want
like
a small bucket.
I get to like hole 12 or 13 after hitting a full range session, a bucket, and I'm like, dude, my back, I don't want to swing the club anymore. Like this is, so that's just me though.
I think range session before would just help the stadium pulse on hole 1 with the driver.
Yeah, it's mainly just to hit driver like a good amount of times.
Yeah.
Just so like, okay, I can I mean, hole 1 driver going in the woods every time at Sandy Ridge. I mean, that's just an obvious. That's why I've resorted to hitting the 3-wood off the driver at hole 1.
And it's my duty to say you're soft every single time for doing it, even though it's the smart
And
play.
I'm not in the woods. So I would rather be soft and hitting my second shot. Anyways, more stuff going on in the news. We mentioned Jeff Passan talking about the Tigers with Tarek Skubal. Everyone thinks the Dodgers are getting him. At least Passan did come to the conclusion that, hey, they're probably going to be trading him no matter what here. More Rams news, though. Myles Garrett says he is excited by the possibility of Aaron Donald returning to play. We got some more news on that yesterday. It seems like Donald, it's more than a 50% chance he comes back, I would think, at this point.
Yeah, I'm putting it at like 70.
Yeah.
Not quite 75, but 70 seems appropriate that he's going to play.
Is it GG's? Like, is it over?
No.
But it's, like, scary, though.
For sure scary. They're the favorites for a
Garrett
reason.
and Donald? Those are two best defensive players of our generation.
Thank God we don't have Graham
Like,
Glasgow
not even
now.
close.
Thank God Graham Glasgow and Taylor Decker are gone.
I don't think, thank God it's Cade Mays and Blake Miller. Like, against those two guys?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it matters who it is, you know? We need Frank Ragnow back for that to happen. What are the odds we get a Frank Ragnow retiring coming back out of it?
We already had that.
But a second one. What if we get a second one?
No, he finally spoke publicly at some point this offseason and said that will never happen again.
Yeah, that certainly won't happen again. A couple more things here in the news. Baseball news. Byron Buxton returning to the injured list for the Twins with a hip injury. So
can't get traded.
He can't get traded, but there's now rumors that the Twins are going to buy, which is kind of interesting. The White Sox said they want to buy, but then they also say we don't want to trade any top 10 prospects. Okay, so you don't want to buy. You want to do what the Tigers did last year. Got it. The Guardians are, of course, not going to buy. Someone does have to win this division, and the Twins are much closer than the Tigers. I don't know. If the Twins buy, I don't hate it for them necessarily. I think the Twins could win the division if they do semi-buy. So the Tigers are just too far out. They can't be the ones to do it, obviously. Covenant Healthcare, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine injury report. Matt Vierling did leave the game yesterday with groin tightness following a triple. Also, Gleyber Torres got replaced defensively, and it came after an awkward slide on a play. But afterwards, they made it seem like, no, he just got pulled for just a defensive substitution purposes. It wasn't for the injury scare. I don't know. I think that's a little bit odd that it came right after his slide. But nonetheless, Matt Vierling, he would have had an inside the park home run yesterday on a diving catch attempt in center field that was failed. Got to third easily, but clearly popped his hammy while he was arriving to third base. So we'll see if Matt Vierling gets placed on the injured list. Of course, a move has to be made for the Tigers with Max Clark being added to the 40-man roster. And so it can't just be Vierling's on IL and Max Clark is replacing him. We'll see what happens. I would guess it's probably Malgiri. And someone has to get DFA'd, though.
I told you I'm not all that, I'm good with. How many years does Vierling have left on his contract?
I don't think he's an ARB every year guy, yeah.
He's still, oh my God, he's 30 years old and hasn't gone through ARB yet? Yeah, he's got
Turning
one more year of
30,
ARB.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you're not going to DFA that guy then.
No, but yeah, Vierling he's just been rough. We'll do one more thing here in the news. Actually, do you see Shamar Stewart got carted off at the Bengals?
Oh, I saw the video. It was so gross. It was so gross.
Man, that one's tough, yeah. We will end the news with this. Bleacher Report, they put out wonderful NBA articles. Put out yesterday, teams that could sign and trade for Duren.
Okay.
The Pelicans and the Clippers seem to be the two teams that they like the most that could do a sign and trade for Jalen Duren. What do you think?
I think Jalen Duren's going to play for the Pistons next year. And I think that's the most Bleacher Report article I've ever heard.
What's more likely? Skubal doesn't get traded or Duren goes somewhere else?
Skubal doesn't get traded.
It's pretty good.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That's a weird one.
It is a weird one. All right, that's all I got.
All right, 989-837-6125. We've got 3 traditions to close out every show when we come back here on The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.
All right, we have 3 traditions to close out every show. The first tradition we have is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
No Tigers today. And I can't just go back to Caitlin Clark hitting her threes because she does not play again today. So I am 2-0 this week. So trying to go for another win, 3 straight here on a Thursday because Kyla was nice and just didn't have Monday's count.
Voided it, yeah.
Voided it.
Glaber wasn't in the lineup, pinch hit. It was kind of weird. We'll give it a void. Yeah, 2-0 this week. Ben, you are 1.8 units up on the week, but you're 3.4 units down in July with just 2 days left in the month.
Well,
almost in August, which August means summer's over, right?
Stop it.
Isn't that what everybody says?
Knock it off. No, September means summer's over.
Knock it off.
I'm going to reach into the bag on this one with no Tigers. I'm going Michael Busch for the Cubs to have 2 hits today at plus 230, trying to make up some ground for what has happened in the month of July, trying to get back positive. So if he has 2 hits today, we make up 2 units, a little bit more. He's going up against Andre Piante today. Is it Palante or Piante? Could be either for the Cardinals. Michael Busch is 7 for 9 against him in his career. That's crazy. 7 for 9 with a home run, with a double as well.
How did you find this?
I usually just go to the games and you can type in any pitcher and see what their statistics are against a group of hitters.
You were just surfing this?
Yeah.
It's not like I know how you can find it. Trust me, I know how the internet works. You were searching this?
Yeah, I mean, I clicked onto the Cubs game, and here's how it went. I was going to go bet on Pete Crow Armstrong to do something just because he's been incredible this year. So I looked up, what's Pete Crow Armstrong's history against Andre Piante? And then I saw Michael Busch was 7 for 9 against him in his career, and I was like, let me just bet on Michael Busch to have 2 hits today.
Plus 230, too. Pretty good value.
Almost went to 2 bases, but we don't like that one as much. So I'm going 2 hits. Michael Busch. Taylor fade.
I'm going to fade. I'm going to fade. Michael Busch notably got Zaire Hope here to Midland to play for the Loons.
Speaking of that, I was going to ask you about that. Of the Dodgers' top 5 prospects, let's say the Tigers can get one of them.
I'll be very happy if they can get one of them.
I would too. And let's go off this caveat.
Josue DePaula will not be moved.
Off
Is
limits.
that the caveat?
Yes,
that should be.
Josue DePaula is the Tigers' number 1 guy. He will not be moved. They have no reason to do so. Who would you be the most excited with between Sirota, Eduardo, and Emil?
Or Zaire.
And Zaire.
I think one of the outfield guys is who the Tigers would approach. I think Emil is just kind of off the board just because
they don't need another
The
infielder.
outfielder is really the guy they want. Sirota's the guy I want. Sirota's the most MLB ready out of all of them. He's the oldest guy. He's having the best year of any of them. All of them would be great. All of them would be fantastic. And I see some Tigers fans like, Zaire Hope, I don't really want him. Okay, I don't really know why. I want any of those guys because they walk in and they're the Tigers' number 2 prospect. Any of them.
Number 1 now.
Yeah, true. They walk in as the Tigers' number 1 prospect. Like, Sirota's the guy I want. Just watching him this season, even a little bit last year. And
it's like Righty McGonigal.
He's unbelievable, man. He really does it all. I think he's better than Clark. I mean, he got boosted higher than Clark in the recent ratings. So, yeah, Sirota is the dude that I want pretty desperately. Honestly, any package that involves Mike Sirota for Tarek Skubal, I'm happy. All the other pieces I really don't care that much about. You get Sirota, I'm like extremely excited because that's a guy that's on the bigs for the Tigers next year.
I unfortunately, based on Scott Harris' history, I'm assuming we don't get any of the top 5 prospects if the Dodgers are the team that ends up trading for him.
I don't think the Dodgers are moving any of them because I don't think they have to. That's the issue. They don't need to trade. Now, they also don't need all of them either because all of them are not going to play for the Dodgers. They have 4 of their top 5 prospects are outfielders. They're not going to play for the Dodgers. They don't need all those guys. But they also don't need to trade them either because they have loads of depth. They have 9 top 100 prospects. Like, you could still move your number 6, 8, and 9, and that's a great package for another team. It's tough. Michael Busch, though. All right.
2 hits. That is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Fluttershy is asking me, what's my Taylor fade record? Thank you for reminding me. I'm 69-50 in Taylor fade.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I've lost 2 days in a row, though, so we'll see.
Womp. Let's go with our game of the day.
Game of the day.
Let's see.
No Tigers.
No Tigers. A lot of day games on just because it's a getaway day. Pirates, Cincinnati's not bad.
Yankees White Sox went to extras last night, but that's another day game.
Weather's on the mound. Yeah, I don't typically like doing the day games.
There's like
for
no
game of the
good
day.
games, dude.
Yeah.
Is today a day you don't watch sports?
Today you come
Is
to
that,
the
what the,
Loons
is that the
game.
game? Yeah, is that the
Go
game
see
of the day?
Spider-Man. Go see Spider-Man. That's my game of the day. Spider-Man.
Oh, that comes out tonight, yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see this. I think I'm going to prioritize seeing the Odyssey for the second time before I see Spider-Man, and then sometime next week I'll see Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't think
you can
you
go
have
see
to
Spider-Man in a regular movie theater.
Well, they're doing the IMAX thing too. And like, honestly, the way I saw the Odyssey, it might change my perspective. Like, IMAX just might have to be a priority now. And it sucks that Midland doesn't have an IMAX theater because I really like the
Or
movie theater
anywhere.
in Midland. But yeah, there's no IMAX around here. And I'll probably end up just seeing. Yeah, I want to see Spider-Man and the Odyssey for the second time sometime in the next few days. It's that good of a movie, the Odyssey. And then I would love to get down to Grand Rapids to see it in the true 70mm inch TV, but
Yeah.
it's sold out for like a week in
You can
advance.
book it out for next summer, maybe.
That is our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
Michigan fans, they don't have anything to worry about?
Not right now.
Okay.
Maybe soon. Maybe I'm going to start playing that for Bryce Underwood stuff, too.
I was just making sure
Yeah.
that they didn't have anything to worry
Oh, I should have put that video up on the YouTube stream.
I don't know what that video
Like-
was.
like the-
Who told them, you know what, you should post this? Doing running
It's
back
like the
drills.
Drewski construction worker video.
And then even the passing in that video, I was like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing sidearm when there's nobody around you?
I've already been seeing people going at Bryce a little bit because they asked him, like, what are your goals for this year? And he said, Heisman.
Oh,
Win the Heisman. And everyone else is saying, like, win the Big Ten.
or like, yeah, the playoffs.
win the national championship, go to the playoff.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not going to say anything yet either. It's too early. All right, let's
What's more likely, though? I'm just kidding. I've just been liking doing those lately.
let's get into our last tradition. That's guessing Collins Open. What's more likely that he opens with? Whose turn is it to go first? Score 67-66. You're
Yes, the score is 67-66. My lead, your turn. J-Mac show, I would assume, again. I'm telling you, Ben,
He can't do the Skubal stuff. I
the
don't think he'll do
Skubal
it.
stuff is coming. I think it is. If Colin was leading, I think he'd do it. I think because it would just be a Skubal Dodgers lead. It's coming. It would not happen with J-Mac, though.
I'm gonna go with the WNBA scandal.
Okay.
Just WNBA being in a mess right now.
We just got some new update with FIFA, too. UEFA and FIFA protesting World Cup private equity plan. J-Mac's kind of a soccer guy, so you're going with WNBA.
Well, do you see what happened with Beckers and Reese?
Oh, with the betting thing.
Yeah, they
yes.
just like bet on the All-Star
They just like
game.
gambled on it. Yeah, that's right. And the WNBA posted a video of them like betting on it.
Yeah,
And they were like,
then they
"Oh, you
deleted
guys
it.
made like a silly bet." No, they bet like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and then they deleted it. Plus all the stuff going on with Sophie Cunningham. I'm just gonna go stay to the WNBA.
Okay, that's kind of good. I like that. I will go Skubal Dodgers. Screw it. I just want to be right. I don't want to miss that if it does happen. So that's what I'll go with.
All right, there we go. Oh, somebody said Kawhi Leonard in the chat. That's pretty good. Skubal Dodgers not
that's
bad
probably
either.
happening.
I just don't think J-Mac does baseball, but we'll see. All right, that's the show. See you guys later.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9.